How do we have two shows live at the same time on YouTube?
I mean, they can hear you. And it's because you can have 100 streams live at the same time on YouTube.
That's cool. I'll stop talking now.
You can just DM me.
I wanted to ask the question live to annoy him more than anything else.
Welcome, my friends, to XboxEra. If you're new here, let me fill you in. XboxEra is a platform for the Xbox community with best-in-class forums, a kick-ass Discord server, and of course, XboxEra.com, your destination for the best news, reviews, and features, all focused on your favourite platform, Xbox. It's every Xbox fan's gateway to the best of XboxEra. Our incredible podcasts listened to in over 50 countries worldwide, our in-depth reviews, our own merch store for the coolest in gaming threads, and of course Day One, where you can track, rate and discuss your favourite games on Xbox Game Pass. We're a small, agile and independent publication, and importantly, we're completely funded by you. If you value having a publication truly focused on your preferred place to play, you can become one of the cool kids by supporting us directly via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/XboxEra. You get cool swag and awesome perks, and we get to keep doing what we do. Become a part of the best Xbox community on the internet and help us grow even larger. Thank you for your support. XboxEra is only made possible by the support of an amazing community, and in particular our legendary and growing army of Patreon supporters. Our executive producers, Top, The Scarecrow 121, Peter B, Not Jack, Mohammed Sherez, Kevin S, Korkenstein, Jordan White, Jordan Andow, Frankie C, Terran H, and Britt. Our amazingly generous grand benefactors who take their support and dedication to XboxEra to another level. Krat56, an assassin. And then there's our boss, our leader, our shining light in times of darkness, the one and only XboxEra's CEO, Torn Raptor. You guys are all fucking awesome. If you enjoy the content XboxEra produce and want more of it, and you're not a patron, consider heading over to patreon.com/XboxEra, pledge your support, and get cool swag in return.
Sorry, that intro video that pre-drag makes is unbelievably loud. Hi, everyone.
Hello, friends. Welcome to episode 235 of the XboxEra podcast. At a slightly more sane time for us Brits at 10 p.m. We're here to talk about all of the latest from across gaming. And overall, we're focused on your favorite platform, Xbox. If you want to become one of the legendary people mentioned in our opening credits, just head to patreon.com/XboxEra, where you can earn the opportunity to support us directly and also get cool stuff and get treated like kings and queens in the cool kids club lounge in the Discord and on our forums, where all day Jesse's just been giving away games as part of his amazing extra live stream. As always, I'm joined by Special Nick. That's a good timing. You were muted the entire time. When
I wasn't. I did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's even better. You really emoted that quite well.
Yeah, did you like that?
Yeah.
Just showing my acting range.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. They'll pick you up any day now. And Jesse, who has been streaming for like 7 or 8 hours already.
8 hours. We're at the 8-hour mark. We have absolutely crushed our goal at tinyurl.com/XELife24. We have broken $2,000 raised for the Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital of Clearwater, Florida.
You have community.
Well, yes.
With your help.
I've signed us all up. Myself and John guaranteed. Maybe Nick, if we can figure it out. We're going to do a Christmas movie commentary track. That'll be public for everyone. We'll watch a movie together, hang out, record the audio, and put it up as an MP3 for all on as a public Patreon post.
Jingle all the way, yeah?
We'll figure it out. I wanted to do Violent Night, but John also wanted to do the Kurt Russell one.
Christmas
that just came out. Yeah.
Not the one that just came out, the first one.
Him
really
and Goldie Hawn.
Yeah.
Nah, Jingle all the way with Turbo Man. and Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you're going to do a Christmas movie, that's the one you do.
I hate that movie.
That's a classic.
It's not a good movie.
Turbo Man.
So
I need
John
the
and I will
last
be
Turbo
doing
Man
one.
doll.
We'll figure out what it is. But yeah. You go to tinyurl.com/XELife24. It's just been a crazy day.
You can do Krampus.
Krampus is pretty good.
Yeah.
Elf.
Yeah, but huh? No,
Elf.
I fucking hate Elf. I fucking hate that guy. What's his
Oh,
name?
yeah. Thank you, David Brownfield. Gremlins. Ooh,
Yeah, Gremlins is
yeah, Gremlins.
I mean, Die Hard, arguably, if we want to be entertained.
Cliche, though. It's a bit cliche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gremlins that's a good pick. And Phoebe Cates, hello.
How old is she in that, Nick?
How old is she? Isn't she in her 20s?
How
Probably in her
old
30s.
was
Probably in her
Phoebe
30s.
Cates in Gremlins? I don't know. I'm always... It released in 1984, and
She's 61.
Okay,
She's
she was 20.
61.
Yeah, she was
Calm
20.
down.
She was 20. I was not that far off. She was literally 20. Shut up, idiot, when they filmed
Christ.
it. Hey, you and ladies, it's becoming a thing.
Yeah, you're kind of earning yourself a bit
Oh,
of a
no.
rep, bro.
Oh, no. I
of a
like
rat.
attractive women. What an asshole.
Bit of a rep, you know how
Oh,
dangerous
no.
it
I'm
is.
the worst
Dangerous-
person in the world
dangerous
for liking
precedent.
attractive women. Oh, no. What a piece
But
of
hey,
shit.
Because I want to let my partner go to bed, we are doing something in extra. Because obviously, Jesse, you've smashed your target. So what's the new target? The new target is what, 3,000?
Whatever we can get.
Whatever we can
We
get.
need to come up with incentives. If we can come up with some good ones, I'll...
Incentive, huh?
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can add them though.
Well, here's an incentive in general, and we'll just through this podcast, we'll see what happens. Today, there was a bit of an adventure in the Clark household, and I picked up these guys. This is Kitten 1, and it is a boy. It is a boy kitten, and it is adorable, as evidenced here.
You know, he looks pretty similar to old Oreo here.
Yeah. Well, we can't call him
Different face.
Oreo.
Oh,
So I've
Amanda
noticed I've
hates
said-
the name Oreo. She wants to call him Ori, like Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Oh, that's nice. And then we've
Don't you
got.
already have a cat?
I have one cat left. Yes, I had one cat Boots.
He had multiple. They kept getting hit by cars.
And now I've got two new kittens. And let me tell you the story about these kittens. They were found by my partner's friend, dumped between two fence panels in a bag, left to die as
Really?
newborns. And her friend's son, found the bag of mewling baby kittens, took them home, and her friend hand reared them for 6 weeks. They're 6 weeks old. They're tiny.
Yeah.
So the incentive is this, chat. The highest donations for the boy or the girl
Get a
get
free
to
cat.
name the kittens. And just to make things extra good, because everyone needs to see the kittens, look how adorably small. Look how adorably small and adorable they are. Oh, darling. Here we go now. Look, you want to name the kittens, right? For the children? With the donations for the money? Hey, look at these little guys. Ain't no babies. So, do the right thing, chat, and help name these beautiful little kittens. So that you're just going to have to be on camera, babe.
Eddie McCatface.
Yeah, and don't be imaginative, people. Don't call them Kitten McKitten Face or something like that. Come on.
That's AJH in the chat.
Goodbye,
Eddie
kittens.
McCatface.
We've literally spent the entire afternoon just doused in kitten love. It's been wonderful. It's been an adventure.
Eddie McLongtail.
Yeah, I trust that this community can do a little bit better. All right, so you've seen the pictures of them, right? They are available to look at. You know, they're on my Twitter if you want to get a good look and decide.
Roger.
I'm hoping for good names here. Like I want some good names. So we got
Ruddigan.
the girl cat. The girl cat is the tortoiseshell, and the black and white
Chandler.
cat is the boy.
Othello.
I'm glad I don't have to listen to either of your suggestions. I only care
The
about
girl
the
cat.
community's
The girl cat can be Chandler. Has to
It's
be
so funny.
Chandler.
The game adaptation newscast. Please don't call them Loki. Everyone calls their pets Loki. Loki has already come up and been thoroughly like vetoed.
Vetoed.
Now. It's
Agatha.
not happening.
Agatha and Wanda.
Iron
Go full
Man.
Marvel.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
Drunkard.
Suggestions ever.
If I do seem a little distracted, I am producing 2 streams at the same time.
Yes, Jason. We'll call it We'll call the cat HMA. Hey, Magpie Army. That's what we'll call them.
Someone at the door.
Terran Tim Dog was the Discord answer. Oh, Japes.
We'll call them Rand and Jez.
That's not bad. I don't know though. Which one's Jez?
Rand and Jez. Jez could be the girl.
No one there. Weird.
Oh, love it. All right. But hey, we're here. Jesse's been going for ages. We're here to catch up on all the latest in gaming news. But before we do any of that sort of thing, we like to talk about what we've been playing. And as Jesse's not on camera, we're just going to go straight to you, Nick. What have you been playing this week? Let me guess.
Black Ops 6. Been playing lots of Black Ops 6. I haven't been on yet. I haven't been on double XP yet. I did have a crack at Nuketown last night. But yes, I pretty much since I got the code, I've been playing Black Ops 6. So I've played all of it. I've played, as in when I say I've played all of it, I mean I've played some campaign, zombies, multiplayer. Man, I'm enjoying this game, man.
It's it's a very solid game.
As an overall, I guess you can call it as an overall package. I'm really it almost takes me back and gives me the vibes of the old 360 CODs and the days of COD. Like I'm not a massive fan of those little mini open world sections in the campaign so far. I'm just like, really?
Have you got up to the global desert Iraq mission?
I just got to that desert Iraq mission.
That's as open world as it gets.
Yeah, but why even do that? It's Call of Duty.
It's actually a really nice variety driven change of pace. And if you want, you can just you can just straight up Golden Path and just do the 3 objectives.
Yeah.
But it does give you some cool variety.
Jesus.
Yeah, I just started that part and I got to it and all of a sudden I saw the map open up and there's markers and I'm like, okay, save and quit. And just jumped out after that and had a match of zombies. Zombies is fun. Apparently a lot of the zombie purists and hardcore fans are like, zombies and shit. I don't know. I like it so far. I think it's okay. But I haven't played zombies since I want to say World at War or OG. Did OG Black Ops have zombies in it? It did, didn't it?
World at War was the first zombies, if memory serves.
To do zombies, but Black Ops, the first Black Ops did have zombies, didn't it?
I think so. The first and only time I ever played COD Zombies was World at War, and I hadn't played it since, so it was nice to go back in.
Yeah.
No idea if this is going to look okay, but we can show video.
And the multiplayer is just awesome. So good. It's very fun. They seem to have nerfed the OP shotgun. Like everyone had figured out that there was this shotgun that if you put your time into it and fully upgraded it to get the 12 gauge slugs, it would turn this shotgun into just this unstoppable weapon of mass destruction. And so what you do is you select the Mosh Pit playlist, make sure you vote for Stakeout, that really in-tight house where it's just absolute madness.
Absolute madness.
Oh my God. You get in that map, you pull out this shotgun and you're basically upgrading it 1 or 2 levels per match. Like that's how full on it gets.
Wow.
Once you've upgraded this shotgun, I think you need to get it to about level 26 to have everything you want unlocked. And then it just becomes an absolute monster. So I jumped into Nuketown yesterday post the update. And man, they nerfed that shotgun something chronic. Like it does nothing now. It is worthless. It is such a worthless shotgun now, and I was devastated. But Nuketown's still fun, which is probably why they keep bringing it back, like every single Black Ops game.
It's one thing I've got to give Call of Duty as a franchise like kudos for, and I, in some regards, like Call of Duty's moveset predominantly doesn't. Most maps can come back and they will just work, right? But they're never afraid to bring them back. They're never afraid to listen to that community, bring them back. And Halo certainly over the last, like, I don't know, 5-6 years, they might bring some back, but most of the time they don't. Or they'll take ages to bring one back, or it'll be coming back as a Forge remake. And it's like, don't be afraid to bring the maps back, lads. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're popular maps for a reason.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we're fine playing old maps with new graphics and new moves. That's okay.
Yeah. We hit
I'm okay
we
with
hit
that.
$2,000 for the first time, and I just got an email from Extra Life. Redeem your gift as a thank you. They're sending me an Extra Life branded Xbox controller.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
That's pretty good.
So,
oh
neat.
mate,
Yeah,
that is
swag.
neat. Well, okay, well, how do we hit? What did we get if we hit $3,000?
I don't know. I didn't even know that was a thing at 2. That was what the goal was set to. We hit the goal. That's what it mentions. But the more we get, the better, and the more incentives and crazy shit and giveaways I'll come up with. So
Cool.
Awesome. That is so good. God bless it.
But yeah, I'm not even using the Omni movement. I know it's there, but I'm not good enough to actually use it, so I just don't use it.
The thing I've noticed Omni movement wise is in multiplayer, you'll be shooting someone and they'll just drop to the deck while they're shooting you. And I'm like, damn, my brain is not fast enough to start doing that. You know, like
Yeah, I know. And then you just see some asshole fly from behind the corner and just bang, flop to the ground, and you're like dead.
yeah.
It's like, whatever.
Having said that, I feel like I'm keeping up.
you've had some good matches while you were streaming with us. You dominated one of them.
I was doing pretty good, you know, like
I'm not good.
to play.
I'm not good at COD. I enjoy playing it, but I'm not good at it. I do better at hardcore, just like Halo with SWAT. I do much better at hardcore where there's less intrusion from possible bullshit of me unloading clips into people that don't die. So at least in hardcore, I know if I see you first, then I shoot first, you're dead. It's that simple. That's why I like hardcore. So I always play hardcore. But yeah, man, Black Ops, I mean, there's a reason it's doing as well as it's doing. It's a fun Call of Duty.
It really
They had
is.
time for once.
Yeah,
Yes, allegedly it's like 4 years. This
4 or
one
5
was
years
on a...
time.
Yeah, funny that, isn't it? When you give them the time and they don't have to fucking just crunch it out.
Well, they had to crunch out, what was it, Black Ops Cold War? Like, in the meantime, like,
Yeah.
it's crazy and it is everyone making it. But yeah, this one got more time to bake than most. Not a ton, but a little.
And I think next year is when we're rumored to get like the Modern Warfare Type 3 expansion type thing for this.
Lightly future Black Ops. Like 2030s or something.
Yeah.
They really don't have to do it yearly.
They do.
They could.
It makes too much
It
money.
makes so much money, bro. That's the only reason.
It's the top selling game every year. And last year it wasn't, but it was still number 2 and made $1 billion, even though it reviewed like shit and it wasn't as big. It just makes too much money. They'll never stop.
Xbox First Party, huh? Best selling game of the year, Xbox First Party. Eat shit.
Doesn't count. Had to buy.
Has it had many campaign like reviews everywhere else?
I mean, IGN got theirs out pretty quickly and completely.
It's a
ate off
9
our
for a
views.
campaign from IGN.
Yeah.
Like that's
pretty good.
that's high praise. You gave it an 8.5, Jess, which I feel from my completion of the campaign is about on the money from my point.
Yeah,
of
it's an
view.
83 on OpenCritic with 67 reviews total right now across the
Well,
board.
hey, if there are other 83 games nominated for Game of the Year, like
This won't get nominated.
Why not? It's
Yeah.
the most popular
It's
game
a
in the
Call of
entire
Duty.
world.
Doesn't matter.
Like,
It's a Call of Duty.
I'm only
It
yanking
won't-
the chain.
There's just no chance. I really like that campaign level where you're where you go in, you got to take the photos,
Yeah,
and then you go up, and that was a cool level. I like that. And then it takes you back down underground.
They can be pretty
and then you
long
gotta-
too.
yeah.
Yes, that one was quite long, but it was good.
You wait till the full-on horror level.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a zombies level that is very good but terrifying.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I think
it's
I saw
fun.
a clip of it just before.
Yeah,
There that
I was
three-headed
like-
monster.
I was like, what is this? Why Why is this happening now? And I got mad at the game because you know how I feel about horror, XboxEra community. I'm not a fan, and I was cross because I was like, I don't want to be. I hate things being chasing me, and yeah, it was good though.
No, it's an enjoyable game. It's a good return to.
Don't call
although
it return
I
to
think
form.
Modern
Everyone
Warfare,
gets mad if you say return to form.
Modern Warfare 2019, I loved as well. Like.
I like the diversity of this one. That one was maybe a better like story, even though they did change who did the Highway of Death. But the overall cohesion of that campaign is just the big blockbuster with a few slower things. This one was way more varied, and I like that.
I'll have to go back, but I actually reckon Modern Warfare 2019 looked better than this.
Yes,
visually.
I think
it did, didn't it? It's not my imagination. It did
I
better.
saw. It's removed options like that they were pursuing with ray tracing in 20. Like I don't know what one it was. Not the last one, but the one before. The last one from Infinity Ward was that. I don't know.
Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, that one had ray tracing and stuff on PC, and this one doesn't. And the likelihood is that those engine improvements didn't make it across. For some reason, basically because of the siloed like main dev elements, you would have thought that shared engine improvement would come across, but it doesn't look like it did for whatever reason.
Yeah, not that this game's ugly or anything. It's not ugly. It's just like this is 5 years post Modern Warfare, and Modern Warfare was an incredible looking game. It was a genuinely good looking Call of Duty game. Like, just I showed someone that clean house level where you put the night vision goggles on and go through, and they were just like jaws on the floor. They're like, is that PC? I'm like, nah, man, that's on Xbox. That's how it looks. I'm like, that's just a genuinely good looking Call of Duty game. Again, this one's not ugly. It's just odd that it looks worse than a COD game from 5 years ago.
It is
so
odd.
I just find that a little bit odd. But it's extremely enjoyable.
Do you know what we should do?
And we have a community question too.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second. But you know what we should do after we've done the podcast?
Play some COD.
Yeah, let's as part of Jesse's, let's drag him into COD multiplayer and watch him suffer.
No.
Come on, this is for the kids. Nope. For the kids.
Kids can all die.
I'm phoning Extra Life.
I haven't played COD. I have not played COD multiplayer since Advanced
We'll
Warfare.
squad up. We'll squad up, mate. It'll be great.
Oh, Advanced Warfare's multiplayer was the worst thing on earth.
Yeah, it was really fun to play, but then the maps and the spawning, the maps and the spawning were just horrible. They were the worst thing I've ever seen.
The maps weren't built for that traversal.
Mm-hmm.
They were built for standard COD traversal, and if it was a standard COD, they might have been okay. But you just, oh my god, everyone's just flying around and jetpacking around, and like the maps just can't take it. They weren't built around it, and it was just dumb. It was so dumb. But yeah, Black Ops 6 is good. Should I go to the community question? You're muted. So Jesse, I don't know if you're ready with the community question stuff. 99 Rukin has the community question. COD Cosmetics. Hello. Simple question. Do you think Microsoft will have Activision bring all our skins from Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 to Black Ops 6?
No, they would have at the beginning.
I was about to say, wouldn't that be something they would have done right from the start if that was going to be the case?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they said it was something about the engine is why it didn't come over.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and assume the answer to that question is no, because I would have thought it would have happened right from the start. Which is unfortunate, because I had a lot of skins. Because I got the Vault Edition of Modern Warfare 3. I can't remember which edition of Modern Warfare 2 I got. But I had a fair bit of stuff in Modern Warfare 3. And I had unlocked some stuff in the Battle Pass for Modern Warfare 3. So it would have been nice, but I do not believe that's going to happen. Unfortunately.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah. So that's the main thing I've been playing. COD.
Same. Same.
Yeah?
Samesies, yeah. Primarily COD. Obviously, I wasn't here to talk about it on the last podcast, or was I? I can't remember. It still says
That was me that wasn't here last week.
It was you that wasn't here last week, yeah. So,
Yes.
yeah, COD is pretty much all I've been playing. I did play some other stuff, but I can't talk about it until early this coming week.
Later at points in the future. The end.
The end. Jess, what about you?
The main thing for me that I can talk about, I got a review or two coming during next week, but the main review this week was Dragon Age, the Veilguard, everyone's favorite topic.
Woke age.
Everyone's been so pleasant and nice about this.
Yeah.
It's been lovely.
Honestly, those precious little snowflakes getting all triggered by inclusion and diversity.
Pretty much.
But aren't they getting upset about stuff that like Dragon Age has always had in it?
BioWare
Yes.
has always been progressive. Like they have always been that. So the people who are mad are generally the people who don't actually care. And it's mostly a bad faith thing. Like you can look at it and maybe you just aren't enjoying it. You don't like certain aspects of it, whatever. But most of the arguments were from people who were immediately in the camp of no matter what, I hate this. There was no actual discussion to be had.
Like I said to Jess on Headlines, Nick, like, what are these guys going to do when Mass Effect bring the Asari back, who are monogendered and are technically kind of both? You know, like...
I don't know enough. I've only played like through a third of Mass Effect, so I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, the Asari, which are the blue, very pretty, I guess, looking alien race.
Are they the ones that have sex scenes in Mass Effect?
Yes, you can have a sex scene with an Asari. But yeah, they're monogendered. So it's like, this has always been a thing. I don't know. People are just...
Also, for a Portal player in the chat, Call of Duty's campaign is going to be... Everything's going to be rare because it's Call of Duty HQ. It's COD HQ and everything's under COD HQ. So you've got 5 games, including free-to-play Warzone, which has many, many dozens of millions of players just playing that, but it counts that percentage for all of the games. So
is that why all my achievements are rare?
Yeah, because it's everyone who's ever opened COD HQ. It's not Black Ops 6, it's COD HQ.
Oh, right. That makes
They're
more
all
sense.
DLC. But yeah, Dragon Age, the Veilguard, I played it. It was the first thing I played to start the stream. I got through the prologue. I didn't want to get much further because just came out yesterday. Didn't want to get too deep into spoilery stuff when I know people wanted to hang out for the charity. So, yeah, it is an amazing game. It is a BioWare-asked BioWare RPG. If you know what those are, they're not... Dragon Age Origins was the exception of being this branching path where you could just make a bajillion choices and they really changed stuff. As were Mass Effect, Dragon Age Inquisition, they are more focused in their choices that impact stuff, with most of them being about how can you keep your team alive. Because the BioWare is always about building your team to overcome some enormous obstacle. This one's no different. If you know the Dragon Age story, if you played Inquisition's DLC Trespasser, it's a direct continuation of that. It is amazing. Try to not get spoiled on anything if you can. I enjoyed the writing. I really enjoyed the plot and what it added to the lore. The writing's very sarcastic and quippy at times. You can't really be a dick, but I never am in these games, so it didn't bother me. So your mileage may vary. It's also a really, really good action game. Third person... mostly cooldown or resource management combat focused on the combo system from Anthem, where you set primers and then use detonators to explode them to do massive amounts of damage. Lots of builds to make up, tons of gear to find and upgrade, and runes to set up, and humongous skill trees to go through. I took 62 hours to beat it, did everything I could really find. Absolutely adored it.
Does the hair look that good on console?
Yes, this is all console.
The hair even looks like that on console.
Yep. Yeah, this is all console footage. It is the best looking game hair pretty much ever. Not just the look, but the physics of it. Like it just
the ridiculous
feels,
hair.
Yeah, it's the Frostbite engine. It's not Unreal, so it's straight out of Football Club. That's why a lot of the body proportions are more athletic, because it's obviously based on a lot of soccer players. That's why you don't get big old badonkadonks or, tig bitties. But yeah, it's an amazing game. Like there is no single area of it that I think is bad. There are various degrees of great to excellent. Like it is just.
Oh yeah, that's right. You gave it a 10, didn't you?
I did. It's my favorite one of these ever, Nick. Like it literally is at the top of BioWare for me. One of my favorite devs. It's my favorite game they've made. Like as somebody who adored the Mass Effect trilogy and thinks the Mass Effect Legendary Edition would have been a 10 if I had ever reviewed it. Because as a collection, yeah, I know. I actually got I streamed and got all the way through mid Mass Effect 3 and then just got so busy I never got to finish it.
That's exactly what happened to me. I got all the way through to the halfway, like I was doing the war effort in ME3, and then I was like, I run out of steam.
I was too busy. Like I was having a lot of fun with it. I ran out of time. But yeah, no, BioWare is one of my favorites, and this is up there with. So the end of this game is as good as the end of Mass Effect 2 3 times in a row. John, 3 times in a row.
You know how I feel about Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, it's one of those like Pantheon type moments, and they just build and build and build. Like Act 1, good build up. 2, really good. Your ups and your downs that you need, and then Act 3 is just balls to the walls, nuts in a way this franchise never got to be because of technical issues. Like they really wanted it to be. Being that sword and board warrior is still my favorite because eventually I unlocked the ability to parry anything, including unblockable attacks. And like you have to dodge them, but I got so good. If you timed it right, I could block anything. Give myself more rage. The more rage I had, the more damage I did. And everything I did, instead of consuming rage, became cooldowns. And so by the time I was halfway into a fight, I was just dealing like 10 times normal damage and tearing everything apart. Even once I bumped it up to hard difficulty, like. It's a really good-looking game. It's a well-written game. For me, I understand some people are less into quippiness and sarcasm, but I'm really into sarcasm. It worked well for me. I'm also always playing as a good guy. I don't like being a dickhead in games like this, so I'm never looking to do that, really. I could not talk more positively about this because I played it for 62 hours, had a bunch of other work to do, and kept thinking of ways I could go and stream more. If you haven't watched or read the review, you'd be like almost everyone that's commented on it. That's an asshole. Please do. It's not spoilery. I tried to keep everything out that I could as far as story and lore wise, and some people are like, oh, why didn't you talk about this? And it's like, because it's really spoilery.
You have to also wait for the check to clear from EA, am I right?
Mm-hmm. I had that $2,500 bill that finally was done, so it's like, hey, you want your 10? EA. I'm kidding. People will frigging clip that.
They will literally be like, they admitted it on stream, now let me adjust my tinfoil hat.
It'll be like those Netflix documentaries where they just chop up a conversation to make it sound like I did, in fact, kill her. Like,
it's Simpsons. Mr. Simpson, no!
Mr. Simpson, no!
Sweet.
So you admit you touched her can. Sweet, her can.
Oh, class. God bless the Simpsons, man.
I've got the same thing. When games give you a choice between being bad or good, I always choose good. I can't bring myself to choose bad for some reason. I don't know why. My OCD won't let me choose bad.
I see enough bad shit all the time, every day.
I don't know if that's the reason for me.
For me, it's an escape from being a dickhead, and I'm just like, no, I don't need to be an asshole.
I just can't bring myself. Like on Infamous on PS3, I still haven't done the evil run. I'm trying to find all the shards, but like I have to do a run where I have to start being evil, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that.
It's funny. A lot of my mates play RPGs with purely of the notion of I don't care about the plot or the world. What benefits me, my character, my resources the most, and that's Maniacs. What I'll do.
Terrible people.
Each to their own. Each to their own.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It's a big game.
No.
You definitely want to play all of it. You don't like it is in that Mass Effect style of you are working for your companions who are all great. Like one of their best companion groups, I think overall. There wasn't anyone in there I didn't like. But you're also working with factions. So you're building up your companions, you're building up your factions, you're building up yourself. You're making tons of, I think, impactful choices because I played it and I actually know. They are not impactful in the Baldur's Gate way. You're not crafting the narrative. You're shaping an already existing narrative. And you're trying to aim that narrative that you're a small part of. You are not a chosen one special person. You are just someone really smart and hardworking who is a part of stuff and ends up becoming a big part of it. There's tons to explore. You can't say
the combat looks incredible. Like seeing some of the moves and the flashiness of it, I'm very impressed with it. This is the sort of thing I probably wouldn't buy, but if it did come to Game Pass, and obviously inevitably it will come to EA Play.
It will come to Game Pass in about 6 months.
I will probably give this a go. I'm not chomping at the bit FOMO style to play this right now, but it's definitely something I'd look to try out and just see how I feel about it.
And if you see, there's 3 classes, but each class has 3 subclasses and specializations, they call them. So you've got the mage, the warrior, the rogue. Rogue can either be like up close, dealer of death, long-ranged bowman, or focused on traps and tricks. Warrior can be sword and board, big bonker, two-hander, or necrotic, life-stealing, like undead murderer type. And the mage can either be an elemental mage, a necrotic, undead necromancer mage, or a close-range spellblade, which is really cool and a lot of fun. That's what I'm going to play as. It's a really fun game. I never got bored of the combat. Some people might, I don't know. People are always like, well, this guy didn't like it, so what do you? And I was like, because I do. I like it because I do. I don't know what else I can say other than I did, he didn't, which is fine. It's the way these opinions are supposed to work. So, yeah, I cannot recommend it enough if you are at all interested and have the time, because there are too many video games.
There's so many video games. It's kind of crazy.
We have a super chat about sort of this. And we also have a comment from an executive producer that we forgot to read out earlier. Alvin, with the super chat, saw a stat today that the entire Mass Effect trilogy only sold 20 million. I think Veilguard will do extremely well sales-wise for a BioWare game. 20 million's still okay for a franchise, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been, 15 years?
Yeah.
That's almost 7 million per game. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
No, that's...
Oh, wait. There's Andromeda and there's Legendary.
Yeah,
there's
so
5.
over the course of 5 releases, it's... Yeah, who knows?
So 4 million each on average.
And then the comment from Assassin.
Yes, we forgot to read that out. Oh, that's not it.
That's not
it.
The
one where when we were talking about naming the cats, he said, call the boy Nick and the girl Jessie so John can never escape XboxEra and the chat forever.
I mean, and Jessie works as a girl's name.
Jessie does work as a girl's name. But then again, so does Nick technically.
Yeah.
Nicole.
Yeah. Nicola.
There you go. I found it.
Yeah.
So Japan can never escape low. But yes, it would be JESSI or JESSIE.
Well,
JESSE.
Jess on its own just works as a...
Yeah. And a super chat from Assassin. People like being more evil than they think. Are you going to be a dick? Are you going to be a dick decision to who saw their family killed? No, but if you had a chance to be a dick to the bandit chief who did the deed, well... I mean, yeah, but I mean more evil as in like in Fable, where you got the chance to do good or bad stuff and it would shape how you looked. You know how the more evil you went, you started to look more like a demon over time? I thought that was a cool touch in Fable.
Yeah.
I thought you had that in Mass Effect, essentially, kind of, too.
Yeah, Renegade and Paragon virtue system. But I hope Fable brings back the, like you start getting devil horns and shit. And
yeah.
I was really...
I doubt it's going to do that. I feel like they would have hinted at that already in trailers and stuff.
It's a key part of the franchise, like that your decisions. Yeah, it's been in every single one.
Mm-hmm.
Like your decisions and the way you behave affects your outward look and whether people fear you or adore you. So I'm intrigued.
We have a super chat. We have a community question on Dragon Age from Jesse Brother.
Let me get the brand thing up so you don't get all upset. I'm producing the other stream right now.
Yeah, I know.
Question, Jesse Borther.
Okay. Happy podcast 235. Yeah, jive turkeys. Speaking of turkeys, Elon Musk. You know how his racist buddy Donnie wants to deport immigrants unless they're white or rich enough to fund him? I always detested the deportation idea, but with the garbage Elon's been pulling lately for Donnie, like glorified human trafficking, like glorified human trafficking, where black people are locked into U-Haul vans and forced to pretend to be Trump fans and get people from Michigan to vote for him, I'm starting to warm up to the whole deportation notion. I say let's ship Elon back to South Africa, or if not there, how about Mars? He can be the first resident of the planet that moron thinks we're going to colonize. By the way, Jess, did I hear you right last week when you had to explain who Mr. Dorr was to John? You mumbled what sounded like Saga's dad. Ursula was clearly confused, as was I. But that's not my question. I'm not trying to be Hytham. Asking multiple questions to you gents. And now that I can actually talk about it, I must concur with my brother. Dragon Age the Veilguard is friggin' awesome. Maybe not worthy of a 10, but I'll accept it because I know it pisses Nick off. So this week's question is this. Nick, on a scale of 1 to 10, how pissed were you? I was mildly annoyed that we gave another game a 10.
It worked.
Maybe like a 7.
You haven't played a second of it. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It didn't matter when you were okay with a 10 on Alan Wake because you skipped every cutscene and you have no idea who Whirling Door is.
Like, in real talk,
I remember hearing the name Mr. Door during the game.
Do you know his first name was Warland? Or that it's intimated that he's Saga's father? Which Travis also missed.
Question. Let's say everything works out wonderfully. XboxEra is funded out the wazoo and you're full-time.
Yep.
And you're given a big AAA narrative-driven game to review.
I won't review it.
So I guess this is my question. If you had to do the review, rain or shine, would you be open in your writing and just be like, hey, just heads up, I only ever played the game.
Yeah, I'd say it. I'd say I don't know what the story was about.
For your job.
Don't come to my review if you want to know what the story was like. Come to my review if you want to hear how nice the graphics are or how well the plays.
For your job. Your job requires you to assess all aspects of the product.
No, that's not my job. My job is to review a game my way.
No.
The job is to review a game my way.
No.
Bullshit.
No.
Not even a little bit.
Bullshit.
Wrong.
There's no rule, there's no law that says when you review
There's my rule as reviews editor where you have to play the game.
Story. I'll play the game. I'm just going to skip the cutscenes.
Then you're not playing the game. You're not giving a worthy review.
I'm playing the game. I'm not watching the movies. I'm playing the game. I'm just not watching the movies.
You're not giving an accurate representation to the end user.
No. What will happen is I will knock points off the game because it can't tell me the story without me watching the movies. I'll be like, guess your game didn't use the medium to its fullest to deliver the story without relying on movies. 5 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting times.
I'm just going to throw this up real quick again, because why not? tinyurl.com/XeLife24. If you want to give anything else, we've hit our initial goal. We're trying to think up of some good incentives, because we kind of hit all the things I could think of that we'll actually do. But if you want to just keep adding on for the XboxEra 4th annual Extra Life charity stream for 2024, please go to that URL, take a look. It's in a book, A Reading Rainbow.
Nice.
Yeah, that's right. That's actually a good point, Joe Sinister. At least if I'm reviewing the game, you know it's going to be spoiler free, because I don't know what's happening, so I can't ruin the story.
What if you say who the last enemy is because you're fighting that boss? You know.
Yeah, I know who the last boss is.
But you wouldn't know whether it was relevant to the plot or not.
That's right. I wouldn't know.
So you blurt it out and people are like, whoa, why are we fighting them? You'd be like,
I don't know. That's what I was fighting.
That is the worst.
That was
I
me
can't
most of the
imagine
time talking to you about
like
Alan
that.
Wake 2. You had no idea what was going on.
Such a good game, though. Such a good game.
It doesn't even have long. They're not long cutscenes. They're maybe a couple minutes at most. It's not a Kojima game. They're not half an hour or 45 minutes.
So good. Alan Wake.
Anyways,
Gives you relevant, pertinent information.
swiftly moving on. I guess it's time to dive into the news of the week, right? And opening things up, everyone kind of was like, whoa, about this. And I was just like, okay. Perfect Dark has a new creative director. And it's the chap that was the creative director for Insomniac's Wolverine. Now, this is a gentleman named Brian Horton. This was picked up by Stephen Tortello over at GameFile, who had the scoop. Brian Horton's got a new job. He's now the creative director at The Initiative. Cool.
I don't know how I feel about this.
I don't know why this is news. Like, why does it need debate?
It's not about debate. It's just, part of the reason is, that's the thing. Like, I think there's a certain segment of the gaming community that's not sure how to process this, because it's like, wait, is this bad news for Sony or good news for Sony? Is it bad news for Xbox or good news for Xbox? So they don't know.
Why can't it just be? This is all I'm saying. Why can't it just be a dude was like, I've got this job and there's another job and they're offering like 20% more pay and a bump up in the...
Why? You know why? Because the reason this story is a little bit sexy is because, so you had Wolverine leak, full leak. People have been playing the game, the PC build of the game in its very early stages, like a lot of games in their very early stages, doesn't look great. And I think there was also some reports or whatever of dev not going the best. Perfect Dark has had a somewhat messy development.
Turbulent. Yeah.
Yes, turbulent development history as well. So you've got two major AAA games, both with shaky dev histories, almost swapping directors, kind of. I know that no one from Perfect Dark went over, although I think someone from Perfect Dark went back to Insomniac. Drew?
He's left since then, I believe.
But the
left
thing
Insomniac?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Insomniac's in trouble. Do you see what I mean?
I think that's why this story is a little bit sexy, because of the history of both games.
I just feel like the industry in general seems to make more of these sorts of things than
Yes,
they need to be. Right?
But that's a narrative that only started with Xbox.
Of course.
It only started with Xbox. Anytime it looked bad for Xbox that a director left or whatever left, it was like, ooh, this game's in deep shit because this person left, ignoring the reality that people come and go all the time. I think there would be examples where someone leaving might not be a great look, or maybe is a really good thing, depending on context. In this particular case, I don't know how to feel about it, because to me, so far, what we've seen of Wolverine looks Perfect Dark looks incredible right now and looks like it's a game right now. Like, we saw nothing of Perfect Dark for the longest time, and then we got that reveal at the showcase, which is what Jesse's showing now, and it looks amazing. Like, I can't stress enough how badly I can't wait for this game. It just looks so good.
The thing I'm really curious
and
about...
you won't review it because you'd skip every cutscene.
Yeah, this is a me review. I'll check this one out.
What?
But,
Shut the fuck up.
what are you talking about? I played Perfect Dark on the N64 more than any other person in the world.
It has nothing to do with this game. It's not even going to have multiplayer.
Well, this is where I'm intrigued, right? Because the original Perfect Dark, spoiler alert, almost leans into kind of B-movie comedy.
Yes.
Because it starts off as the conspiracy, and then we get an alien that's obsessed with America, is called Elvis, and wears an American jacket waistcoat.
Yes.
And then you get the Skadar, which are like this alien race that have like taken over like top echelons of the government, and there's this assassination attempt on the president, and it gets like ridiculous, right? But it was really good fun. And obviously we saw at the end of that concept trailer of like going up and what is all this spooky stuff. Are they going to bring all of that back? Is it going to keep that comedy element, or is it going to go comedy? Super serious?
No. Alien, yes, is what I would take from it. Also, I looked it up. Drew Murray left Insomniac in February.
Well, that's funny because
this year.
There's a community question from Assassin Entertainment on that very subject.
Is there?
Yes.
Is there?
Not a community question. Sorry, super chat. My bad.
Super chat. Exec producer, Assassin Entertainment. No, Grand Benefactor.
Yes.
Grand Benefactor.
Yes.
All the levels are confusing to me. Honestly, this is hilarious to me. Drew Murray left the initiative to work on Wolverine, and now Brian Horton has left Insomniac for Perfect Dark. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why this has become a story, because they effectively swapped two games with troubled development. Have effectively swapped.
And with Brian Horton, he worked with Crystal and Gallagher, who runs the initiative. So it's one of those things you hire the people you know.
And I just wonder how much impact Brian Horton's going to have on a game that's probably a year and a half away and looks pretty far along now. Like, it's looking like a game, and an amazing game. Like, comparing both games right now, I'm putting Perfect Dark ahead. But, again, Wolverine's possibly... Maybe they're both 2026 games. I don't know. But Wolverine at the moment, I don't know. Like, I feel like Wolverine at the moment looks like they've taken Spider-Man, removed the web swinging, and goried up the melee a bit. I'm like, I don't think Spider-Man's the right game to base Wolverine on. I think basing it on God of War.
It looked the camera angle was almost God of War-ish, but then the movement more Spider-Man-y.
I said this to Jesse, Nick, was that like the biggest problem I think Sony have had this generation has been all of their games outside of like a few. Like Returnal, as an example, have been iterative improvements on existing engine, existing tech that they've bumped up for a sequel. So we had Spider-Man 2, we had Miles Morales, we had God of War Ragnarok, the God of War DLC, and then for Insomniac, who have had to pump out so much to keep the PlayStation.
And now they're a Marvel studio.
Right. But then they're just going to take their technology base that they have.
Another decade, too. Like, they are literally nothing but Marvel planned through 2035.
Sad. Like, I would have loved
Sunset Overdrive
2. I don't care if it's PS5 exclusive. Just give me Sunset Overdrive 2, man. Like, that game... Oh, my God. I mean, the multiplayer was garbage, but the game itself was just... Oh, my God. Look, Insomniac rarely misses... So I will give them the benefit of the doubt on Wolverine coming together at the end. What we've seen thus far is... Look, I don't know if it's doing anything for me. Where what we've seen of Perfect Dark, even though it took 3 or 4 years for us to see this, just... Oh my God. It's going to be my next... I feel like it might be my next all-consuming game. Like... Lost Crown was, Alan Wake 2 was, those games that just consume you and all you want to do is play that game and nothing else. I feel like Perfect Dark is going to be that for me. All I'm going to play is Perfect Dark. And that's it. It just looks so good. So ridiculously good. And I'm not talking necessarily visually. Visually, it looked fine. It looked okay. But just in terms of the game. I liked that there was some immersive sim, and I liked that there was Mirror's Edge traversal, and then the John Wick combat, and just oh my God, it's just this amazing blend of amazing combo. Shit. Oh, 10 out of 10. If Jesse wants to give, we are gonna mega boost the shit out of this game.
Maybe we'll be a top critic by then.
We're going to mega boost the crap out of Perfect Dark.
It is funny. We don't actually do anything to any games on OpenCritic. So it's very funny when people are like, it's only up on OpenCritic because people
are looking forward to another ridiculous essay from Nib95.
Sorry, fanboys. We're giving Perfect Dark a 10 out of 10. I'm going to make sure of it.
We'll catch flack from Schreier again.
I fight
only
all the other...
well because of sites like us.
I fight all the other high scores that we give games, but I ain't fighting Perfect Darks. Perfect Dark is getting
You don't fight. You didn't even know it was a thing until I had already done the video. You're not involved.
Yeah, I watched the videos in advance.
You didn't watch the video. You watched the end of the video.
Yeah,
you opened it.
The end
you went to the
score was.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it does.
You're the main YouTube audience, really, aren't you? Just right on through. What did they give
Just
it?
See if we gave it a bloody 10.
That one had really good retention, thankfully.
But Perfect Dark, that's got my green light for a 10 out of 10. If we want to give that one a 10 out of 10, go for it.
When I come to review it, I'll be all over it.
You better. You gave fucking Hellblade a 10, didn't you?
It was the pinnacle
I
of
would
the
have given
genre.
it an 8.5.
I would have given it a 6.5.
Wow.
Hellblade.
Well, because it's literally the worst thing imaginable for you where it's focused on the storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like the first one. I like the first one just fine. And this one, I haven't beat it yet, but this one's okay too. And 6.5 is technically an okay score.
6.5, but you haven't beat
I got
it yet.
death threats
It's
for
a
4
5-hour
months
game.
for giving a
5-6 hour
6.5 to Armored Core 6. Like, I literally got nonstop death threats for
But
months
that's because From fans are like this weird, deranged offshoot
don't give it a
of
9,
PlayStation fanboys.
Yeah, they are the most toxic. There's no one close to them for me.
They're this weird, hyper concentrated offshoot of PlayStation fanboys because of Demon's Souls.
Like a hyper concentrated version.
Yeah, it's like full concentrated, like finely tuned.
You know, it's really gross. We're streaming League of Legends on the Extra Life channel right now. Oh my God, Ursel.
But yes, to round this topic off, Perfect Dark's getting a 10 out of 10 from us. The game looks amazing. I will ensure that Operation Mega Boost
the thing is,
full effect.
It's all a good laugh, right? It's all a good laugh. Unfortunately, there are generally moronic people out there that will take this as gospel, that this isn't a big joke and a hoo-ha. Like, Nib95 will add to his WordPad essay, where he works out the averages and the point swing.
It sounds like the people want me reviewing more of the Xbox exclusives because I knocked the scores down a little bit.
The dumbest thing about the review score thing is even the most popular games get about 167 opinions, like 170 opinions total on OpenCritic. Then 20 million people might play it. But those 167 people, like, they matter more than anything. And companies and people just lose their shit. And they get really mad at you if you don't just agree with what they wanted you to say. It's not that they're mad that you give it a good score. It's not that you're mad that you give it a bad score. It's that they wanted something different and you didn't do it. So that means you're bought off. You've been paid off. Can't trust the critics. It's like...
If any publisher wants to buy my 10, because let's be real, I am like Edge Magazine. If your game gets a 10 from me, if your game gets a 10 from me, fuck, mate, it must be a special game. So if any publisher wants to buy my 10, I'm open. You drop off that bag of cash on my front door, you'll have a 10 next day. Next day. I don't care what your game is. I don't care if it's a sequel to
all our partners,
that Tiger PS4 game,
PR companies that we work with. There is a reason we pretty much don't let Nick review anything ever.
Genres that never have cutscenes, essentially. That's about it.
Yeah.
Quiet Man 2 would get a 10 from Nick if you gave him $30 in a free order at Macca's.
Who's publishing that Power Rangers game?
Oh, God. Right. Moving swiftly on, elsewhere in news this week, Sony, they shut down.
Wait.
No, I'm not letting you continue this. He's just going to make the joke. You're going to read the studio name and make the joke that if you want a 10 from me, just don't do it. Don't do it.
Digital Eclipse.
See, look, he's going to do it anyway. We all know this joke's coming.
Me and Mike follow each other on Twitter. I'm going to DM him, say, Mike,
If you want
Bag
a 10
of cash.
here we go.
If you want a 10 for Power Rangers Readers Rewind, bag of cash, buddy, I'm there. 10 out of 10 Power Rangers.
This has already been clipped and passed around X.
What a game. Power Rangers Readers Revenge, man. Readers Rewind. I didn't even get the name right. Readers Rewind. Mate, 10 out of 10 that game. Wait, is that my doorbell? I think I heard my doorbell.
Yeah.
They're coming to give you the bag of cash.
The bag of cash.
Fucking hell.
Sony
shut down.
I don't actually think I've ever asked for that game. You never reminded me.
Oh. Really?
I got an email right here. I mean, I went to contact. You would have seen it if you cared. You could have done it yourself.
I do glance at the emails.
Oh, that's
High
good
Vibe PR. Well, if you want to go through the emails and request, feel free.
Ask for a code.
I know you won't, and then you'll be mad that I didn't
do your job, reviews editor. Ask for a code.
There, and I said, we'd love to cover with this one if possible, thanks. And that's it, not another word said.
And say, if
No,
you
it's already
donate to Extra Life,
Yep,
if you
headsets
donate to our Extra Life stream, I'll give it a 10 out of 10.
Why can't we stop him? Why can't we stop him?
I said if he donates to Extra Life, Jesse. I said if they donate to our Extra Life
Nothing
stream, I'll
changes
give it
if
a
they
10
do
out
that.
of 10.
No, nothing would happen. Nothing would change if they did that. Not a single thing.
And let's all move on. Let's all move on together and talk about the other fun topic this week, which is actually horrible in that Sony shut down Firewalk Studios and one of their mobile studio acquisitions called Neon Koi.
Neon Koi.
That's it.
They're actually called Savage Games, I think. I think when they bought them, they were
yeah.
Savage, and they changed their name.
Wow. Well, they're gone now.
I know a lot of people will say, oh, you shouldn't be surprised. Concord bombed. It's like, yeah, but they just bought Concord 18 months ago. They bought Concord.
No.
Firewalk, sorry.
Yeah.
They bought Firewalk 18 months ago, and they bought them because they saw Concord and liked it. It feels a little bit slimy to me. And I know people are going to make comparisons to ABK and Bethesda, and they're not comparable at all. This is different. This was Sony were actively looking to buy individual studios. They were shopping around. They saw Concord, loved, or at least Herman, saw Concord, loved what he saw, and went, you know what? We should buy these guys. This game looks great. It's going to be our Overwatch. We should buy this studio. They bought them, and then a year and a half later, just because the game bombed, it's like, fuck yous. I don't know, man. That doesn't sit well with me.
It's like you'll never get any of that money back. So it's like if you stick things through, they have another game come out and that game do well, you can start recouping the money lost. Instead, their main issue has been keeping the money they earn. And all this does is guarantee they will never make anything back from this game. Like, I don't understand how it was.
I know,
but I'm saying I don't understand how that works better than trying to stick with this company. You just bought two companies. You never made a penny from either company. So now you write off everything from them. You will never recoup a penny from that. Like, how is that?
The rumors are 400 million. In
not the
purchase of the
development
studio,
costs.
dev costs,
and,
marketing.
Marketing, everything.
Nearly $500 million.
Yeah, Concord didn't cost 400 million, but they spent 400 million between buying the studio and helping with development costs, because Firewalk wasn't big. Like, there were a couple hundred people, but they used a ton of contracting work. And so, like, you spent all that money and now you can never make a penny back. And Sony's biggest problem has consistently been they make a ton of money, but they don't keep any of it. Like, that has been their problem nonstop. Their margins are horrible. And all this will do is guarantee your margins are fucking terrible again for a long time.
I don't know. It feels, to me, it feels unfair. It feels like these developers are being punished for Herman's shitty decisions.
Well, I think there's a couple of things here. There's the inability of Sony's executive leadership team, who clearly viewed the game. And look, let's be clear, Concord is a perfectly good video game. The problem it has, not that it was buggy, not anything like that. The problem it has is that it wasn't wanted. No one wanted it. It
wasn't very fun. It wasn't very fun.
I didn't play it, but by all accounts, it was a perfectly balanced hero shoot.
No, it wasn't. That's the problem. I had my impressions. I played the beta. This is the problem. It wasn't. It didn't feel great. It wasn't balanced at all. It visually looked great, cool, because, it's a Sony game, so they're all about graphics first.
Yep.
Gameplay and everything else later. It wasn't balanced. It was horribly unbalanced. And I said that at the time that I played it. I'm like, and I bet you they're not going to fix jack shit before it releases. And they didn't.
Yeah, it's too
late. It's just, it should have been, I think this game, because I know you can't completely change what it is. To me, it should have been more like Valorant. So you know how Valorant is more like everyone has the same weapons, but they've got different abilities. It should have been more like that, I think. It might have had a better chance of being enjoyable, because then you're not as concerned about balance as much, because everyone's got the same weapons. And all you're tweaking then is the abilities and balancing the abilities, as opposed to balancing everything.
Yeah.
There was something there, but the beta should have been earlier. This was one of those games that needed an actual beta.
Proper,
like Halo used to have. You know how Halo and Gears used to have betas a year out because they were actual real betas where they were going to change stuff and tweak stuff and adjust? This was one of those fake betas that was just a demo.
It was just a marketing.
Yeah, server stress test stuff. Like, the only thing you can really get out of it is information on how your servers are going to work.
Yes, this game needed a real beta, a real one where they actually balance and tweak and change and chop, and that's what it needed, and it didn't get one.
The thing about this as well, though, is that, this was a game that, regardless of its quality or not, nobody actually wanted it. And as soon as it got revealed in that Sony State of Play, everyone was like, what?
Even most of the, outside of the most diehard PlayStation fans.
PC gamer, for some reason.
Even PlayStation fans were like, what is this?
Yeah, why?
We don't want this.
Yeah.
We don't want it.
I look at upcoming release fair games, and I'm like, if you look at the trajectory of stuff, the YouTube trailer announced, the CG intro, the dislikes to like ratio, I'm sorry, folks, this is on the same fucking trajectory. And I think about Bungie and Marathon. Now, Bungie's marketing team are usually pretty shit hot, but does anybody want an extraction shooter?
It needs a hook. Like, people are they're either in for their Super Milsim versions like Tarkov, or they're looking for something more fun and social like Sea of Thieves, which in essence is an extraction shooter. Like, you're going in, you're getting stuff, and you're trying to drop it off as much as you can. Like, it's got those elements in it. I don't know what Marathon's going to do there. That's very different.
Yeah. I would love to be a fly on the wall at Haven Studios right now.
Yeah. Do you reckon they'll interview someone and be like, do you feel like you're under pressure?
I know. Is Herman gonna do an interview on IGN or Kind of Funny?
Like,
shouldn't he?
They're promoting Horizon Lego Adventures. It's coming out soon. Is anybody going to get asked, how do you feel about all these companies being shut down and all this stuff at Sony? Like, no.
Shouldn't he be getting grilled by all the media outlets?
Do you know what type of game Fair Games is?
It looks to be some sort of PvP.
An extraction shooter or like Payday. It's like Payday, isn't it?
It's a heist game like Payday.
Interesting.
You're robbing from billionaires. That is... Now, Payday is not full-on extraction, but it's pretty similar. Like, Payday is a PvE-focused extraction game. Like, there's no real PvP that I remember. There might be people yell at me if there is. But yeah, so it's like you're doing the PvE in Marathon maybe, but that's not close enough to show. Like, they had an update for it that's literally like, hey, we're working on it. Can't show you nothing. Bungie's also got that gotcha. They're working with NetEase. That Destiny Rising is 1000% a gotcha game. Like, it is just nonstop microtransaction focused. But yeah, we haven't really seen fair games. I hope it's good. I hope it's good for the studio's sake. It's just all of these incredibly large budget take 7 years to make.
Well, I was just about to say, do we know the budget of fair games? Because the only thing that can save fair games and Haven in the event that it doesn't do well, because it could be a hit. It could come out and be a hit. We don't know because we've seen nothing yet. Same way everyone was concerned about Perfect Dark until we saw that showcase trailer. Now no one talks about Perfect Dark negatively because it looks fucking spectacular. 10 out of 10 XboxEra. Fair games, we've seen nothing. So the hope is that if fair games comes out and isn't successful, if it's not successful, hopefully for the studio's sake, it didn't cost much to make.
Well, the studios existed about 3 years. So it depends. If it's a 3 to 4 year project, like they announced Haven in 2021, I think. They announced Fair Games last year. I don't know. I'm really curious to see what PlayStation's slate is going to be, because Bungie Grim Reapered a bunch of live service stuff, including like The Last of Us, and
such a mistake. That was such a mistake.
Well,
you'll never be able to convince me that wasn't a mistake. It doesn't. No, you get a team to work on it.
That's not how it works.
Not Naughty Dog. Not Naughty Dog.
Doesn't work.
You get someone else.
It doesn't work. Naughty Dog wants to be in charge of everything. That's what happened with the PC port. And you are set up by Call of Duty and by Fortnite and by having entire 3,000 plus person publishers to support those games. If they wanted The Last of Us factions to actually compete with that, it's Naughty Dog and all the other studios. Like, it has to be everyone. It takes thousands of people to put out this content. All these games, like, everything's messed up by just how big the teams are on the top games. They're enormous.
I know, but what I'm saying is that the unfortunate thing about this situation is that The Last of Us was going to be something different. It wasn't going to be Sony's attempt as... The Last of Us Online was kind of its own thing. It was its own unique thing, which is why to this day people, until they shut it down, people were still playing it. It wasn't Sony's Overwatch. It wasn't Sony's Payday. It wasn't Sony's whatever. It was its own unique thing, which is why at least The Last of Us...
Division or something, like going for that big PvE, bunch of people going around a city, loot focus.
No. Well, that's not what the PS3 one was. That's not what The Last of Us 1 multiplayer was.
It wouldn't have been that.
It was PvP.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying, like, to actually be this big, huge thing that people would keep playing, it was going to have to be something way different than just that. Like, those tacked-on multiplayer modes that were fun don't make money very easily, not compared to now. Like, I think the Uncharted 3 one had, like, a ton of microtransactions in it and did okay.
Yeah, that was, like, was full microtransaction laden, that one.
The actual things you need now to get that, it would have to have PvE and tons of skins and tons of IP crossover. Last of Us 2 is going to have a hard time having IP crossover and being goofy. Like, the only really popular free-to-play live service stuff is goofy. It gets silly.
I don't know, man. I just hope for fair game's sake that it... I mean, hopefully for their sake, it does do well. But if it doesn't, hopefully it didn't cost much to make. Hopefully. Because that in the event the game doesn't do well, the only thing that would save them as a studio, because now we know that Herman doesn't give a fuck and he'll close them down. The only thing that would potentially save them is if the game doesn't cost a ton to make.
Yeah.
If it wasn't expensive to make and it doesn't do well, they'll be like, okay, let's have a second shot at it. Do something else. But I assume that Concord simply lost too much money. Just way too much money. I don't know. A year and a half?
It's a crazy amount of time. Just boom.
A year and a half.
You're gonna have the best time at Sony. We're gonna look after you. We're going to make sure that your game is supported. We're going to get you in this cool movie thing that Netflix is doing with the CG
Oh my God, they're in the Netflix thing as well.
We're going to let you have cutscenes for every time you launch a season in your multiplayer game.
You know what I wish? I wish I'd bought that controller. That controller would be worth.
You're going to get your own limited edition controller and merch on the merch store.
They were all in on this IP. They were all in.
How long did they own Bungie before they fired a ton of people?
Couple of years.
Yeah, they bought them mid 2022, so like a little under 2. Like it is different when you're buying individual studios versus you are buying publishers who are up for sale because they have so many problems. And it's not to say the firings at ABK and the firings and studio closures at Bethesda, ZeniMax are okay.
But they're not comparable situations. It's not about okay versus not okay. They're not comparable situations. You're talking about spending $70 billion on a publisher with 15,000 employees versus headhunting a specific studio that was making a game you like the look of. They're two completely different situations that you can't. Only an idiot would compare.
John is not that still. His computer blue screened. He's reloading.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I know he doesn't move that much sometimes, but yeah. But no, that is what I was saying. It's like the situations both suck, but it is funny how one of them is seen as so much worse than the other a couple months ago. Like one blew
it's not
up,
about that.
and it's just it drives
people
me
shouldn't be
nuts,
going,
personally.
but Xbox fired all these people. Yeah, and that was shitty too. And we talked about how shitty it was that, Satya still got his fucking bonus, didn't he? Even though they fired all those people. Yeah, Satya still got his bonus. This isn't the time for like the fucking whataboutism bullshit. This situation is unique. And I'm not even talking about Neon Koi, because Neon Koi, they bought them earlier. They bought them in 2022 to try and get something going in mobile, and we didn't see a single thing out of Neon Koi. So I don't know what the hell happened there. But Neon Koi's purchase, or Savage Games was what they were at the time, their purchase would have been different. I doubt Sony looked at them, saw a game and went, oh, we want this studio. My guess is they were looking for a cheap mobile studio to try and start making mobile games. That's different. The reason I'm focused on this Firewalk situation is because Sony headhunted them. Like, they saw what they were working on and loved it. And I feel like that's the other thing that's being ignored here. Like, what does that say about Sony's ability to, I guess, spot a live service game?
It doesn't say anything good.
Like, they had been working on this game at the time Sony bought them. They had been working on this game at least 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
So there are ex-Sony people in there, like from other studios that closed. They set up Firewalk, and they're showing Sony this game, and Herman's like, ooh, this looks good. And Jim Ryan's like, well, yeah, we're pushing into games as a service. Let's get this shit on board. So here's this indie studio, which is what they were at the time.
Yeah.
Getting all excited because they're going to be under PlayStation Studios, because everyone at PlayStation is telling them how much they believe in this IP, believe in this game. You're going to get a segment in a Netflix show. You're going to get a controller. You're going to get big marketing budget. You're going to get blah, 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 blah. So they're getting all excited. Like, I feel... the studio was making what they were making.
Yeah,
I don't know how else... Yeah, I don't know how else to explain it. The studio was making what they were making. I feel like they're shouldering a lot of the... Firewalk is shouldering a lot of the blame for something I feel is not their fault. Like, the game was the game. It was Sony that a year ago decided, this is so amazing, we're going to buy you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, and I think the real frustration for me is how it just, hey, yeah, we're shutting these studios down, and the media went, they're shutting these studios down. That's a shame.
Oh, sorry, game adaptation, not Netflix. Apparently, it's Amazon Prime. Sorry, it's not Netflix. It's Amazon Prime. That vignette thing. Oh. It's Amazon Prime. Apologies.
But
That's
yeah,
how much I give a shit.
they're just move right on by it. The games media are like, yeah, Sony shut down some studios. Move along.
Oh yeah, did you see Geoff? Oh my god. Seriously. Can we please now officially put an end to this bullshit where Xbox fans get accused of fucking tinfoil hat conspiracies? There's nothing wrong with the fact that Geoff Keighley loves PlayStation. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. He can like whatever platform he likes. In his role, though, as a massive industry figure with influence, I feel what he does is wrong. I don't care how subtle it is. I don't care if it is subtle or not subtle. It's intentional. He knows he's doing it.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. When Microsoft got rid of Tango and all that, Xbox has announced. But when it's Concord, when it's Firewalk and Concord, the studio. He didn't even name the studio. The studio behind Concord has been shut down. Oh, no, he did say Firewalk. The team behind Concord is being shut down.
Not
like, come on,
Sony
man.
today announced that it is closing Firewalk Studio, the team behind Concord. And look, it's like in isolation, if this was the first time this sort of thing had ever happened, it would be like,
no, there's a history.
That's what I mean. In isolation, you would probably go, yeah, whatever. But that's the thing. There is a history of repeated, and this isn't just Geoff, right? Geoff's tweet, that picture that Jesse just showed is like an emblematic of this industry and the way it talks about the two different platform holders.
I always bring up a similar example.
Tax isn't real, and it's like
I always bring up that similar example with Plunkett. 2 articles a year apart. 2 articles a year apart saying the exact same thing, and look at the framing. Xbox One is going to let you play your pirated movies.
Yeah, criminals.
PlayStation 4 is getting MKV support. It's the same story. It's the same story. And it's 100% intentional. And the only people that ignore it, the only people that hand wave it, the only people that don't see it are PlayStation fanboys. So it's in the end, it's whatever. But all this shit, like I've seen people say on Twitter and stuff that Xbox faces a headwind. That's that headwind that gets referred to.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You've got someone like Geoff Keighley, huge influence. And you might say that one tweet's not going to affect anything. It's like, no, that one tweet in isolation is not going to affect anything. But it's not just that one tweet. It's that tweet. It's the 73 tweets when the PS5 Pro was revealed. It's the one tweet when it was here's the Xbox Series X. Cool. All these things add up. They all add up to paint a picture. They all add up to create, I guess, an environment. Like,
it's like Xbox is trying to be alive on a hostile planet with a real bad atmosphere.
What?
It can kind of breathe in and kind of be alive, but it's not going to flourish. Because the atmosphere around it is toxic as fuck.
What like, there is, and it'll feed into the next topic eventually, but there is a feeling in the games coverage industry that Xbox is essentially dead. Like they have nothing, they're not important, they don't matter, and like even when good news hit on a show I was watching this week, it was immediately met with, well, it won't matter that like everyone's going to stop playing Black Ops 6 pretty quickly. I'm like, what? It's Call of Duty. No one ever stops playing it very quickly.
They don't stop playing it.
Modern Warfare 3 is still played by a bunch of people.
Was that perchance?
What do you mean? The old Call of Duties is the 360 Call of Duties are still being played. What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's just there's always this look to sweep away when things do go well and ignore. Even Nick with his tweet about how what if they had promoted it on Game Pass? It's like, well, no, they nailed it. They nailed what they were going for and what they wanted.
No, that's a different thing. That is a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about this. We've talked about this privately. That is a different thing altogether.
I don't believe you or him.
I don't give a fuck if you don't believe me. Whatever.
Got a super chat
that
from Risk It for the Biscuit.
Risk It for the Biscuit. It's a concern that they couldn't tell they had a flop on their hands and then couldn't see a way to fix it. Instead, they just shuttered the studio. That's right. That's what I mean. Like the fact that they saw that game and were like, "Oh my god, this is our Overwatch. This is it. This is going to be our games as a service hit." Meanwhile, Helldivers 2, they were just ignoring Helldivers 2, and they were all in. It's Helldivers 2 that should have got the controller, and imagine how funny
all those support studios. If they could have, they would have had so much more content because that game has sold amazingly, but it needs more content to keep people going at it on PC. It has a super dedicated community.
Helldivers 2. I have.
Nothing to say about it.
I do. Should we Rumour Mill it, or should I just talk about it now that we're talking about Helldivers?
I'm pretty sure I've deleted the Rumour Mill off of everything. It doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, it's
whatever.
Gone.
Why?
It is gone. What do you mean? Why? You know why?
Why?
You refuse to believe it.
But why? It's I don't always do Xbox rumors.
Oh, it was to highly keep you from doing it.
I do Fortnite. I do all sorts of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I did get an update. So remember how back in like March or April, I had said that there was very, very early discussions about Helldivers 2 potentially coming to Xbox?
Yeah.
Well, last I heard, that ain't happening now.
Wow.
Last I heard, it's not happening.
If such discussions were taking place, why do I get the feeling Sony would be like, yeah, you'd have to pay us to develop
Oh,
it.
yeah, for sure. Like, my assumption is that that's probably what happened. Sony, again, I said my assumption is. All I was told was it's not happening. No more detail than that. But my assumption is Sony probably asked for Microsoft to pay for everything. Dev, marketing, who knows, Game Pass deal, God only knows. Like, they probably asked for all of it to be covered by Xbox, and Xbox was probably like, well, no. Like, how about no? And we come to a middle ground here. Like, we're putting our games on your platform. How about you come and meet us a little bit closer to the middle on this? And Sony were probably like, no, pay for everything. So, but yes, the last I heard, that is off. So you won't. I very much doubt you'll see Helldivers 2 on Xbox.
I never expected to, but yeah.
Oh, I didn't expect to either. That's why all my rumor mill back then was that they're in very, very early talks about it. That's all the rumor was.
Got a message from member for 8 months, Lucius Augustus,
yes,
Risk
Lucius Augustus,
and Assassin. That all kind of work together.
Geoff, when Xbox gets Genshin Impact. Geoff, when PS gets Indiana Jones. Ah, yeah. How's that, huh? He made it as a one more thing, and he's like, but Genshin Impact, it's like, here's the trailer. Genshin on Xbox. Who cares?
It's coming soon.
Like, it's
a couple of weeks.
Like, it's just this cumulative effect. And the dude has power. Like, whether we like it or not, or whatever wants to admit it or not, the dude has power. The dude has influence. So if all the people see is him being super jazzed for PlayStation and super pumped for PlayStation, oh my God, PlayStation's the best. Oh my God, Hideo Kojima's my bestie. And oh my God, that all adds up. It all goes in the bucket. All of it. It's cumulative. Whether people want to admit it or not, man, like, that's fine. You don't have to see it. You can choose not to see it if you want. That's okay, because it's benefiting your platform. But it all adds up. Where it gets me is, I already know your answer. There's no point in me saying it, but I was going to say something else. But you're like, oh, he gets so many eyes on, they have to. Whatever.
I do wish that in that regard, like, Microsoft would look at less toxic atmospheres with which to, like in terms of eyes on, stuff like IGN first, right? Like, huge amount of eyes on. But imagine if you gave that to a smaller outlet like, I don't know, XboxEra.
But that's only benefiting the smaller outlet. It's not benefiting Xbox.
Exactly. But it is I don't know. It's going to be treated with a little bit more respect. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, of course. If Microsoft turned around and said, we're going to give XboxEra the reveal of this game, yeah, we're going to fucking give it everything we've got, and we're going to give it the full
it wouldn't just be
treatment.
Business as usual, you know?
We might even get Nick to do some work to help us make it look nice.
Yes, but the point is, it would have zero. It would still have less impact than anything Geoff does.
Yeah. But if you don't start changing that.
No, that's right. It's something Xbox would have to do ongoing.
Cumulatively.
So Xbox would have to pick some smaller outlets to start building them up to get to a level where they start to have influence.
Yeah.
But that would take years. Maybe Xbox doesn't want to spend years when they can just give something to Geoff and assume it's going to work.
Assassin's in the chat saying we missed a super chat.
It was this one.
Oh, yes, sorry. I would hate to work at Media Molecule right now. If you're under Sony, if it's not a blockbuster, it's a failure. What's going to happen to Team Asobi if Astrobot didn't sell millions of copies? But I don't think Astrobot cost that much money to make. And that might be why Media Molecule seems to continue to survive. I can only assume they're not an expensive team to run. That's my only assumption, because they've never created a hit game. I don't even think Little Big Planet was commercially massively successful. I don't think. No. I could be wrong on that. But I don't think any of the Little Big Planets were massive commercial successes. But my assumption is that Media Molecule is not an expensive studio to run, which is why they continue to survive. Because
Little Big
nothing
Planet
else
3
makes
made
sense.
it to $5.5 million. It's not bad. But it was
That's
PlayStation
not too
4,
bad.
so were they full price or were they on sale? Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Horizon keeps getting given away and shit and sold for next to nothing. But 35 million.
Now everyone's spending $10 again to upgrade.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't believe I did that. I paid the $15 for the upgrade for Horizon, booted it up, imported my PS4 save file, waited for that beautiful platinum popping noise. Nothing. I'm like,
You gotta play it
do
again.
something wrong? I'm like, did I do something wrong? So I'm Googling. Do I get the auto platinum? Nah, got to start again. I'm like,
I got to go with this. I agree.
fuck you assholes. You absolute assholes. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I'm not playing that game again. I've played it twice. I am not
YouTube just
playing
keeps
it again.
crashing. So annoying.
I just can't believe it. Anyway,
Got a
so I
couple
just
super
spent
chats.
$15 for nothing.
What do you mean? You got neon green foliage now.
Risk it for the biscuit. So why did Xbox ever give Keighley the Indiana announcement? I think there's something behind that. You scratch my D?
Nah.
I don't know.
I think Xbox have been on record, and don't quote me on where, I'm pretty sure they acknowledged we recognise that we probably fucked up with that choice.
It was Phil the next day.
There you go. So yeah, he made a joke, didn't he?
I recorded it. It was it was at the Indiana Jones and Starfield presentation at Gamescom.
Yes.
He literally
Yes, it was.
said, "We're listening to your taking your feedback, especially for yesterday." It was the day after. Like we heard you guys, but
so
Indy
silly.
yesterday, yeah, because they thought it was just
so silly.
It's one of those things where it's like it should be an exciting announcement if it hadn't been something that had already come out in the court for your hardcore to think it was an exclusive. Oh, this fucking cat. Hold on.
Assassin Entertainment. Geoff, when Final Fantasy 16 eventually comes to Xbox. Geoff, when PlayStation gets all of Xbox first party games. Ooh. He's going to get very excited. Games he normally wouldn't care about and would not allow to be in Game of the Year contention. But mate, when they come to PlayStation, wow. Look how good this game is. Wow.
I saw one of the guys from Digital Foundry say about Sony that
Cat jumped behind my monitor here and almost knocked it over. So I had to go kill him.
So I think Sony put out a tweet celebrating the 20th anniversary of Killzone as a franchise.
Yeah.
And yet, like the week before, they said, "Yeah, we're never going back to Killzone."
We're never going back to Killzone,
right? And I think it was Alex from Digital Foundry was like, "I think Sony have just forgotten don't even have the technical ability now to make a game from a first-person perspective. Like, they just do not understand how. I'm just being sarcastic, but like, there's an element of, like, do Sony have any? They don't, right? They do not have a single first-person shooter anymore at all.
No. Not the one that they're actively keeping alive. No. And the irony for me, because I know not everyone's going to agree, the irony is that they finally made a good Killzone, like a great Killzone, and now the franchise is gone. Like Shadow, I loved Shadowfall. Loved Shadowfall so much. I'm only one trophy away from a platinum I cannot get because they've shut the servers down now. So I can't get the platinum, and I'm one trophy away from it. I've been grinding that game for years, and I don't have the platinum. I wish they had patched it before they shut down the studio, and this is what pisses me off about trophies and achievements and why I'm happy Nintendo doesn't have them. There is no reason Guerrilla could not have patched that game to allow that trophy to be achieved with the bot mode.
Yeah.
In Perfect Dark Zero, I can get all the multiplayer achievements to this day on Perfect Dark Zero because I can get them against bots. That's how you fucking do it.
But you being you, it's still a real struggle even on easy.
It's multiplayer. It's not against easy campaign, it's multiplayer.
Yeah, I'm saying you suck against the bots. That was a joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get Assassin's super chat?
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you show it?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't show it, but I read it.
There you go. Love your assassin.
But yeah, man, look, don't get me wrong, I'm aware I'm going to be clipped for everything I was saying before. I'm going to be clipped by a certain person that hides behind a block because he doesn't have the fucking balls to unblock me and have me give him shit because he's a little crybaby. But man, Again, I don't have an issue with Geoff having a preference. We all have a preference.
Can't believe you call him a crybaby. Poor Geoff.
All of us have a preference. I just wish he would find a way to suppress his excitement a little bit and try and be a little more even-handed across the board. Not just platforms, anyone, third parties, everyone.
Imagine if he ever got a Nintendo announcement. You'd lose his shit.
I have no idea because he's a PlayStation fan, so I have no idea.
Yeah, but even just to get Nintendo for the first time, he'd probably go crazy.
Maybe. I mean, I thought he would have gone crazy getting a console reveal.
No, he didn't care.
Didn't give a hit.
See, I find that insane that he can get a console reveal and not give two shits.
A full new generation console reveal.
Yes, full, not an upgrade, not a mid-gen, not a full brand new console, and he did not give a shit.
Also,
that to me is staggering.
People who have their PlayStation 5 Pro and you have to follow the I have got it. Here's a picture of it. Here's one, and then I will be able to show you the unboxing later, and then I'll be able to talk about it later than that. Like, you're just following beat for beat on what they wanted. Hashtag provided by PlayStation. I'm like, ooh, Vinny with the donation towards Extra Life. Thank you very much, Vinny, for your $10. Thank you.
Man. Anyway, you'll see my photos of my 30th anniversary PS5 up on Twitter soon. When I get that one. I've actually got to take my PS5 today to trade it in. EB's giving good money for my PS5. So I'm going to be without a PS5 for a couple of weeks probably.
Will you even notice?
But maybe not.
You just steal your sons and play it.
Hey, I can always just play on my sons, yeah. But they're giving good money right now. So it'll almost pay off my 30th anniversary one.
It's a good thing you didn't do the Pro because you would not be able to change your plates.
The Pro's just not worth $1,200.
Well, it's also like it's now the third set of side plates people have to buy. You have the launch PS5, the PS5 Pro, the PS5 Slim, and the PS5 Pro all have different plates, even though the PS5 Pro and Slim have the same plate size. They're just notches are in different spots.
That's rat.
Kills me.
That's Sony.
That is rat.
For the payers. Anyways, speaking of
my plates would be worth heaps. I've got purple plates for the OG disc edition. The OG digital edition. Those plates are rare as hen's teeth. I'm going to be able to sell those for a lot of money.
Worth more if they could actually fit on the newer stuff.
Mm.
Meow. Meow.
Come here, girl.
Kitties. Is that your
right. It's the grown-up one.
Yeah.
It's the grown-up one that's not happy
Boots.
about the state of things.
No.
All right.
What's up?
They sound like they're getting very upset.
No, it's just one. She just wants me to let her in, which I will do in a second. But before we do that, speaking of making loads of money off of stuff, Microsoft's financial quarterly report came through. I don't want to spend crazy amounts of time on this. Nutshell, hardware's down, but we knew that was going to be the case. But more Game Pass money than ever, and Call of Duty bigger than ever.
So Call of Duty had a positive impact on Game Pass, did it?
Yes.
And that's despite them not even marketing it as a Game Pass game.
They marketed it themselves nonstop. It was the Activision side that did not market anything for platforms. No platform marketing.
Call of Duty every year gets a massive marketing budget. That's nothing new. Call of Duty on its own. Every year they do cool ads with celebrities. This year it was that dude that played the devil in Constantine.
Peter Stormare.
Do you remember the ad they did where all those different celebs and athletes were playing in that battleground with guns and they were all shooting? Oh, that was a cool ad. I can't remember which Call of Duty it was for. Call of Duty on its own always gets a massive marketing budget. My issue this year was that they weren't associating it with Game Pass. And it could have been they weren't allowed to. We don't know for sure. It might have been that they weren't allowed to.
It felt contractual because there was nothing. No PlayStation, no Xbox, no PC. It was just Call of Duty Black Ops 6, no platforms of any type ever mentioned.
There was a couple of ads here and there, like on YouTube and it was in these little
from
spots
Microsoft
here and there.
Yeah.
Yes. But it wasn't like this blanket across the board thing. Like anytime you see an ad anywhere for NBA 2K, PlayStation. It's blue, you see the shapes, all about PlayStation. It was the same for Assassin's Creed a long time ago. Any Assassin's Creed ad you saw, Xbox. Everything was green. Xbox logos everywhere.
It's metaphor refantasio this year.
Yes.
Everywhere it said Xbox.
Xbox. Call of Duty this year didn't have that at all.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they went from being nothing but PlayStation marketing for a decade after being nothing but Microsoft marketing for a decade to being just the game. No platforms at all. Modern Warfare 3 into Game Pass 7 months earlier than it was supposed to be, based on what we knew from the FTC trial. That's why it's a total guess. I have no idea, but it makes
feels
sense
like a contractual obligation.
that they came to a deal to get Modern Warfare 3 in before Black Ops 6 because it did way better being before instead of after.
I am very curious if it is a contractual thing or if there was something else going on.
Well, I think it's a combination. Like when I say contractual, the deal was, hey, this year you won't market Game Pass, but we'll let you have against the contract, Modern Warfare 3 early, something along those lines. And again, this is all just pure conjecture. But Nick, I don't know if you noticed it. I don't think this was a talking point last week, but we talked about this on Thursday. We saw the whole Mountain Dew, Doritos, like 2007. But you think about it, that was marketing Game Pass, right? And it's available everywhere in North America. And it happens to be timed around the time Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is launching. And they advertise every game on all those packets of drinks and crisps and whatever, except for Black Ops 6. Probably because they weren't allowed to. But what they did do was market Game Pass. And what's everyone going to see when they log in and go, oh.
And it's only new Game Pass.
So it's quite clever of Microsoft, I think, there.
As someone that likes the little unimportant, inane things in life, you know what I loved? That all the Samsung Xbox apps got updated with, instead of a green background for the Xbox logo, it's the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 background for the Xbox logo on the Samsung TV. I thought it looked... my kids were watching the TV the other day and they brought up the menu that has all the apps along, and I'm like, oh my God, the Xbox app got updated. It's got a Black Ops background now. I'm like, how cool is that? Again, unimportant and it's nothing. But at least there's some kind of association there with Xbox and Call of Duty. But I thought it was neat. It looked cool.
Yeah, they changed the entire app to look like that on PC too.
Oh, did they?
As long as you have that app installed,
I have a
literally. As long as you have that app installed, it literally pops up and says Call of Duty like 3 times a week to me. Call of Duty Game Pass. Call of Duty Game Pass.
Like, I'm really half tempted to like load up Call of Duty and play some right now while we're chatting because I've not been able to play all day. Yeah, I want to do a Jez.
I want a prestige. I'd like to. This would be the first COD I prestige in.
I can't be asked to prestige. I never could. Fuck all that.
I'm close. I'm on level 45. I'm only 10 levels away from prestige.
I just want to unlock everything and then just dong. That's it.
But back
I'll
on
happily
topic,
host you and Ursula playing after the stream.
Microsoft paid for a cheat code to make their numbers go up because it was ABK that did it all. So they cheat coded their way to making numbers going up.
It was pretty much as good a financial quarter as you could have hoped for because it was also, while they did decline in hardware, it was less than they thought they were going to. They were better in their guidance than everything. What they care about is their guidance, and they were good on their guidance or better than they thought they'd be on pretty much everything. For
You
Xbox,
know what would make hardware not decline?
Lock it up.
Lock
going
it
back
all
in
up,
time
man.
and making it cheaper.
Lock it all up, man.
Lock it up.
Lock it up, man. Don't give people the choice. Don't give them the option. You want to play the biggest game on the planet? Guess what?
Buy an Xbox.
Guess what, guys? See this nice, sexy black box? Look how nice it is. That's where you play it. or the less sexy speaker-looking white little brother, or that one. That's where you play it.
I get it.
And then all of a sudden,
And then the FTC goes, "Hi, this is the federal government. We'd like to force you to sell
and
the
then
Xbox
Microsoft
division."
opens the door. Microsoft opens the door, goes, and then closes the door again, like every big company does. Just like Apple. Just like Apple. For years, they're like, Apple, do this. And they're like, no. And then for the next 10 years, they're like, Apple, do this. And Apple's like, no. Stop asking. We're not going to do it.
Ridiculous.
Until Europe came in and went, Apple, please do this.
USB-C.
And then Apple's like, okay.
All right.
I love
When America asks, when America asks, it's like, no. But when Europe asks, it's like, okay.
America's never really asked because they just then say, here's a bunch of money at your opponent's next election, and they're gone.
Oh, man. Lock it up, man. Come on. Come on, Phil.
He's not going to do
Come on,
it.
Satya.
Anyway, next up in the news.
Speaking of money, I showed Jesse. You know who follows me on Threads? I got scared. You know who follows me on Threads?
It's
Tim
crazy.
Stewart.
Tim Stewart. I was like,
I met him in LA. He's a very nice dude.
I'm not saying he's a horrible
I know you're
person.
not. I know
Makes
you're not.
us
I'm saying he's a very nice dude. Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
I'm just like,
he's a nice guy.
when the CFO of Xbox starts following you, I got a bit worried.
You have the CFO, CEO, the head of Xbox, the head of
The president of Xbox,
yeah, you have
CEO,
everybody.
CFO.
Bro, I was more scared. I think I met him in a lift going up to the Xbox event, and he went, "John," and I was like, "Like, how the fuck do you know my name?"
That was me at the Dragon Age preview when they gave us all the money for the 10. It was just meeting everyone. We're all walking around with our briefcases full of cash.
Maybe that's why Tim is following me.
He wants to get those 10s, buddy.
He's buying that perfect dark. He's like, Nick, this is going to be the best investment Xbox ever made, and I approve it immediately.
We're gonna pay Valnet to get you up to top critic on Open Critic.
Yep. Here you go, Nick. Here you are. Here's $50. 10 out of 10 for Perfect Dark, and I'll be like, oh my god, $50 American dollars.
That's like 40 grand for you, so I get it.
That's why I was like, oh my God, 50 American dollars, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. 11.
My wife literally said I should cross out the 0 on 10 and put like 5 and make it like a 10.5 because I loved it so much. just to piss especially Nick off.
Oh man.
Anyways,
we give
news.
too many 10s. We give too many 10s.
No, we don't.
We
reviewed 700 games and given like 5. It's fine.
That's 5 too many.
Shut the fuck up. No one cares what you
That's
think.
5 too many.
You don't play full games.
What?
You don't play all the games. You just skip half of it.
Yep. Your opinion
I wouldn't
doesn't
listen to
actually
a
matter.
score of Alan Wake 2 from someone that does not understand.
That was okay to
that's
give a
going
10
on.
though, because
I couldn't do it, bro.
I would
because I
listen
couldn't.
more. I would listen more.
Nah, mate. I think you're barking up the wrong alley with that one.
If you had a review from someone
Yeah.
and they reviewed a game that's heavy on story, and this person skipped the entire story and still gave it a 9.5, I'd be like,
I would
holy shit,
never
this
watch
game must be
anything
amazing.
they've ever done before, ever again. I would never.
make
I would
sense? That doesn't make
immediately
sense.
block them. I'd be like, cool,
Because that's an indication that
your
the
opinion
game
doesn't matter.
That's an indication that the game itself is incredible.
No,
The game, the actual game.
the game is the
amazing.
game. The game's all of it. All of it is the game. All of it
that's
matters.
the movies. That's the
They're not movies. They're part of the game. They're literally giving you the story of the game. They're normally pretty short. They're not movies.
the movies.
Right, I'm going to change the subject. Fandom, owners of GameSpot and GB, Giant Bomb, and Metacritic, fired 11% of staff this week.
Is that a lot?
That's a significant number. It's over
The normal corporate cuts are 8. The normal corporate cuts are 8, and they
Over 10%.
So
It's over 10%. Yeah, by 1%.
yeah. Since they bought those companies, they've done like 3 rounds of layoffs. It's been really bad.
That's pretty rough.
It was
and
only
look,
a couple years ago.
we spoke about it on headlines. I will reiterate it here. You know, we are extremely privileged to be able to do the kind of stuff that we do and review the games that we do and keep Nick away from the reviews in the way that we do.
No matter
for
how
the
much
most
money
part.
he'd make
Why?
us. He'd make us $50
People
a
like
review.
my reviews. People like my reviews. I saw a really nice comment on the Karate Kid review that said it's nice to see Nick on the tools. I love that. I love that
Yeah,
saying.
it is nice to see you on the tools, but you'd have
Nick
to
on the
start
tools. I love
watching
that.
cutscenes as part of being a critic of a full product.
I don't.
So okay,
I don't.
Indiana Jones, the game, right, is
Yes.
going to be it's based on movies, and
Yes.
it's going to be effectively the sequel that we never got as a game.
Yep.
And it has over 3 hours of cutscenes that tell a story that you play. You're going to skip
Yeah.
everything,
Yes.
even though you
giving a
like Indiana
hypothetical-
Jones the movie.
Giving a hypothetical.
Oh, I'm not a massive
We don't
fan
know
of
how long
Indiana
it is.
Jones. The old movies.
I know
were
I've read
okay.
that there's over 3 hours of cutscenes, so it's not
well.
that's not by hypothetical. I read that
Well,
on.
I don't believe you.
Central, I think.
But
Okay.
Nick, so much of the game for the people that are going to care, most of the people who are going to play that game will watch the cutscenes. So if you don't, your review is completely useless for most of the people that would play the game.
Why?
Completely useless.
Even if I watched all the movies, people don't want spoilers in their reviews anyway.
You don't have to give
And
any. It's
B,
about the inference of the quality of them.
all I can say is, oh yeah, the story was cool. So,
You can talk
what
about
was the
it
game like? What was the
With-
game like?
Right.
full of story.
So on that, right? You could like if you gave the gameplay and I was a prospective buyer and I was like, well, you know, did the story deliver well? Did it deliver on what it's out to do? Were the characters well reasoned in there? But that's the thing, mate. That's just you. But there
It's
are
a
plenty of
video
people
game.
but there are
It's
plenty
not
of
a
people that
book
give
or a
shit
movie.
about
It's
that.
a video game.
Why did you bring this up again? We're talking
don't
about
know.
Fandom firing 11%.
I just
of
like
their
hearing him
staff
repeat how wrong he is. Anyway,
Including-
Fandom let go of everyone, Nick. How do you feel about that? Like more people,
It wasn't everyone. It was just over 10% of the staff. It
Not-
wasn't everyone.
not under 10%, just over.
Yes, it was
11%.
just over 10%. And it's bad. It is
It is
bad.
bad.
Like, because Fandom owns big websites. They're not like nothing websites. GameSpot, Metacritic. Like, I find that concept bizarre that you can own some of the biggest websites on earth. Like, what are they not meeting? What are they not doing that requires you get rid of some stuff?
This is what we were talking about, right? We're really privileged and lucky to be doing this because we have an incredible Patreon community. We have an incredible community, full stop, of people that enable us to be able to cover games in the way that we want to cover them for the people that play on this platform. We don't cover them for everybody else. We cover them for you. And all the reviews and the previews and the streams that Jesse does, all of that stuff, the podcast is all enabled by you guys. Modern gaming media, what it's grown into because of the algorithms on Google and YouTube, words on a page are dying as a way for a business to make money. They just are. It is not enough anymore. That's why the guides are so prevalent, because what people are searching for is, how do I do this in game? And that's what makes the money.
Fandom owned Strawpoll and shut them down in August.
What's Strawpoll?
It was just a website you could go to make straw polls. You could just set up a question and have people answer it.
So obviously going to that site didn't generate enough money.
They own GameSpot, Metacritic, TV Guide, GameFAQs, Giant Bomb, Comic Vine, bought them all from Red Ventures. They own Focus Multimedia, who own Fanatical, which is like a big-ass e-commerce digital game buying site. Which is a weird thing to have when you also own websites that give reviews and push people towards buying stuff. When you go through the industry, I've done it before with John, Fandom, Future, Valnet, there's like 5 or 6, Ziff Davis, there's like 5 or 6
everything.
Umbrella corporations that own everyone you know of, except for like us and True Achievements and a few others. Even like Digital Foundry and all them, they're independent, but they have contracted deals with companies and stuff. Yeah, like it's really hard to find actual independent out there, and it has to be crowdsourced because there's no way to make any money unless you get people to do a Patreon or something. It's utterly miserable, and unlike video games, is actually unsustainable.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. It was so who did. It's got here owners of GameSpot GB, Giant Bomb.
Yeah, Giant Bomb.
Yeah. Oh, so they own Giant Bomb as well.
Yeah, no one there was let go. It was mostly
I was about to say,
and
as long as Geoff and Mike and Sean and...
They're all sad, but they still have their jobs.
Oh, good.
As far as I know.
Because Geoff has a Christmas podcast to do with us.
That's all.
Yeah, he's still there. Don't worry.
A super chat from Assassin Entertainment. Nick,
God, he's been heavy.
Think of it. This is not a good example, Assassin. Nick, think of it like this: would you trust the food critic who ate the appetizer, sides, drinks, and dessert, but refused to touch the entree? Food is food. It's all food. It's all stuff you eat.
Maybe we're talking about
video games.
The whole journalism here, folks.
Food. No.
Is food.
Food is food. You eat all food. Video games, like the cutscenes in a video game, you don't play them. You're watching a movie. You are literally watching a movie.
You play them sometimes in PlayStation games. They have little moments where you have to...
QTE cut. Yeah, it's a QTE cutscene. It's different.
Nick loves those.
It's okay.
But cutscenes in and of themselves are movies, so it's not the same thing. It would be more like, to use your example, they have the sides, appetizer, dessert, and entree, but they don't touch the drinks. That would be a closer analogy. It's like, well, that's a drink. It's not food. That's a drink. So I want to know how the food tastes. I'm not interested in the drink. I'm interested in the food. Same with the video game. I'm not interested in the movies. I'm interested in the game. How does the game play? I don't, like, explain to me the point. You can have the greatest, most amazing story in a video game known to man, better than any movie that's ever happened in history. If the game looks and plays like shit, who cares? Who cares? But if you've got an amazing game that's fucking fun to play, beautiful, incredible gameplay, this, that, the other, but the story is shit, who cares? The game is amazing. Who cares if the story is shit? The game is amazing. Like, I'm fucking taking crazy pills here. They're video games.
Depends on the game.
You are taking crazy pills. We can agree.
There's exceptions to every rule. There's exceptions to every rule, like those Telltale games. Yes, gameplay is clearly not a focus of a Telltale game. Obviously. There's exceptions to every rule. But generally, a video game is to be played.
Yes.
Not watched. Not watched. Played. So what matters is how it plays.
I like both. I enjoy both.
But for 20 years before...
Games sucked. Yes, they're a lot better now.
No,
where they're
they
actually
didn't
deep
suck.
And have more to
they
them.
were
They
amazing. To
No,
this day, people still have this fondness for old games that didn't have fucking cutscenes
It's
and
called
stories and all that
nostalgia,
shit.
and it ruins everything.
Oh, whatever, man.
I'm sorry.
Whatever.
You got a rose-tinted life.
You're all wrong. You're all wrong. You are all objectively wrong.
Am I out of touch?
Literally.
Oh.
No, you're all fucking out of touch. It is definitely
wrong.
I am definitely Skinner, and you're all the children that are wrong.
gonna
I am
use
definitely
these.
Principal Skinner.
Started getting a bit of a headache, so I'm going to use my Gunner Fallout-inspired gamer glasses. They sent me. They bought me out.
Those amber, are they amber? Are they an amber tint? Yep,
Yeah.
they sure are.
Not
The
all
old
of them are. Some
amber
of them
tint gamer
are.
glasses.
Some of them are darker. They made
thing
these
is-
ones yellow because they're Fallout.
I can agree, Nick, to an extent, in that I agree with you that gameplay is king.
Do you?
Yep. 100%. But I won't, if I'm reviewing an entire product and the audience wants to hear my thoughts on not just the bits I give a shit about, but the thing as a package, my job as
But what
a
if the thing you give
reviewer-
a shit about is the most important thing?
doesn't matter. My
does
job,
matter.
my job. If a firefighter has a job, he doesn't like putting out fires. Is he a firefighter or does he like to just dress up?
Why do you guys make these stupid analogies?
That's not a stupid analogy.
It is a stupid analogy.
It is.
Because putting out the fire is the most important part.
I
just like the
agree.
gameplay is.
I agree that gameplay
You're
is...
making a dumb analogy.
Dude, gameplay is the most important part, yes. But as a
Yes.
reviewer, my job, Jesse's job, is to review an entire product. And you can't. Like, if you were to go to a publisher and be like, yo, bro, I'm going to review a game, but I'm going to skip everything that your contract artists did for all the cutscenes and stuff because I don't give a shit about that. They ain't going to want to give you a code, right? Because you're not giving an objective review of the product that you're meant to be reviewing. That's the only point that we're making. I agree with you that gameplay is king, but can you at least agree that a job to review an entire product is to review the entire product, not to skip half of it and go, I don't care about it. That's not a review, right? You would agree with that. We can think of an analogy right now that, like, hey, I'm going to review a phone. It looks great. It feels great, but I'm not going to make any phone calls on it. I don't know how that works. I don't care about it. Who uses phone calls anymore? Is that a review? No. Right? Like, do you see what I mean? See where I'm coming from?
He doesn't care. He won't
I
get it.
still think it's different with video games. I still think with video games it's different.
I'm just
You
looking
can
at
do
it as a
however you
reviewing a
want.
product.
It's just us saying that we would not find it useful. You can do it however you feel like.
But yeah.
Most people would find it useful. Because most of the reviews these days don't actually talk about how the game plays, which is why reviews are so fucking dumb these days.
What are you talking about?
So
Yes, they
many
do.
reviews that I read don't talk about how the actual game feels to play. And it's dumb.
Mort. Hey, I agree, Mort.
I just turn off the screen and just listen to the audio in movies.
Oh, red hand with what everyone else is thinking.
No.
Like, Nick, you're right in that gameplay is king. Like, take that.
Yeah, we all
take
agree.
that ball.
Gameplay is the most
Everyone
important
agrees
thing in
with you
video
on that.
games is how they play.
But all we were arguing was that if you are reviewing a product, anyway,
Allow me, but here's the thing. Like, the reason why it's tough to come up with an analogy with this is because of how unique video games are. Video games are unique with everything, and this is why it's such a interesting industry. Like, it's the biggest entertainment industry in the world, but at the same time, it's not taken seriously. It's like video games are different in so many ways to everything else. The reason why a review of a video game or can work if you don't give a shit about story and you don't care about cutscenes, the reason it can still work is because the product itself can still work without any of that stuff. This is why you can't make a comparison to phones, and you can't make a comparison
phone
to food.
still
and you
works
can't
without
make a
making
comparison.
phone calls.
No,
It
it's
still
not.
works.
It's a phone. That's what a phone
Yeah,
is.
but it still
Otherwise,
works
it's,
in every other
no,
regard.
it's not a phone anymore. No, it's not a phone anymore. It's
Yeah,
an
it is.
iPod Touch. No. If it doesn't make phone calls, it is no longer a phone. It's a
voice over IP
tiny
interactions
tablet.
with WhatsApp.
But that's a phone call. That's a phone call.
No, it's not. It's not. It's a video call.
Yes, it is. It's a
video call.
Why? You can do audio. You can do audio versions. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but that's different because it's over an internet connection,
Still
not
a phone
passing
call.
to the satellite in the orbit.
You're still calling another person.
We can argue the minutiae.
You can keep trying to catch me. You're not going to. A video game can work and be completely successful without story. Hello, look, most games as a service games don't have story, do they?
Yep.
Yes, they do. It's actually one of the main parts of most of them. The bigger ones.
Okay.
My kids are like Dead by Daylight. It's all about the lore and the story.
Rocket League story is
you said
riveting.
Most. I'm just saying there are biggest ones. The lore in Fortnite's one of the biggest parts of it for kids. It matters.
Fortnite became big before they started introducing all the lore shit.
Bigger and bigger because they kept introducing it and people like. Okay.
John,
we're doing bad faith discourse. We can't do this anymore.
I know.
Assassin Entertainment. Why is it bad faith? Why is it bad faith?
Chat.
Bad faith would indicate that I'm just making all this up and saying it for the sake of saying
I'm hoping it's bad faith because otherwise I'm going to have to completely just lose
Assassin
all
Entertainment.
respect.
Then why is The Last of Us Part 2 hated? It's not gameplay. It's hated because the game is like 73 hours longer than it needs to be.
A lot of people are angry because the story. Yeah, the story really ruined the first game for some people who care about the story.
I think there's more to it than that. The Last of Us Part 2 was also one of the earlier anti-DEI, anti-woke games as well. Like that was one of the earlier games that started that whole thing too. With Abby and all that sort of stuff. So there's a little bit more to it with that. Creed and Eve, this has to be the worst podcast episode. Well, we're there now. May as well keep going. There's no point stopping now. Like, a video game can be successful and work without any story. And that is why you can't make that comparison. It just doesn't work.
I agree.
We had another super chat, which you ignored because you never shut the fuck up. Here it is.
Okay.
I've been waiting to get it in, sir.
I don't. You know what? I don't want to mispronounce that name. I don't know if it's Jaber. I'm not sure. Ultra. Speaking of media influence, I'd appreciate if XboxEra asked more devs about why X game not on Xbox, e.g., Thank Goodness You're Here or Gravity Circuit. I mean, I reckon there's probably like 3 standard answers that you're going to get there.
Yeah.
Deal with another platform. Not enough sales on Xbox. Team doesn't have the capacity yet.
Yeah, and I would wager most smaller companies would say the last one more than anything else.
Yeah,
because they don't want to alienate if the chance is that they can.
Yeah, that has every time someone's asked. That literally has been it. Like, why was Rogue Legacy 2 on Xbox first? They had a very good relationship with Xbox and ID at Xbox, and they're a tiny team, so getting it out on PC and Xbox was all they could do. And then they got it on Switch, and then it got on PlayStation. It just took time.
Thank Goodness You're Here, which I've played and I think is great. It's the same guys that made Goose Game, right? Untitled Goose Game, same team, if memory serves. I might be wrong. And they with that one, they released Goose Game on, was it Switch first, and then it came to PlayStation, and then it came to Xbox eventually. So
the same thing happens with the Xbox games that come to Xbox first, the indies like Artful Escape and other stuff. They eventually come to PlayStation and Switch.
Yeah, it's just sometimes
they're never really deals.
Happens.
It's just, what do you have the capacity to do?
I feel like sometimes people forget that in a lot of cases these are indies. Like they're small teams of people that it's hard enough and enough work for them to make a port on one platform, a version on one platform, let alone most of them don't have the capacity to do multiples at once. Most of them.
Like even Square Enix doesn't.
Are you talking about that comment that just appeared?
Yeah. You're the one watching, bro.
Yeah, put 'em up.
You know what I mean?
Huh. Hey, but at least we're not as bad as Boomstick, apparently.
Wow. Poor Boom.
Aw, but look. He did like and subscribe.
I did like and subscribe to help you guys, though.
I appreciate you, man. What? Fuck you. You guys are dicks, but congratulations on all your growth so far.
You guys suck and you're shit. But man, I sure did like this podcast that sucks, and I'm going to help you grow. What? What do you mean?
It's like all the people like we have to boycott Call of Duty 2, and then a couple weeks later they're all playing it on the friends list.
Yeah, I can see it because we took such a long time getting into it. Yaba. Again, I like Nick. I don't want to mispronounce your name, bro. It doesn't make sense though when all of these games are on everything but Xbox. In those instances,
that might be different.
That's probably answer 1 or 2. They might have a platform preference. They might not want to release on Xbox. You know, just like this industry's media and developers and indeed its fans.
They just think it's
fanboys
not worth
everywhere.
Yeah, they just think it's not worth it.
A
lot of the time,
for a Game Pass deal.
Yeah, or holding up for a Game Pass deal. Like, a lot of the time, the answer might just be way simpler than you think. Yeah, it could be. I'm not saying it is. In some instances, it could be as simple as, I don't even like Xbox. I can't be bothered doing a port to Xbox. Like,
we've only ever done, like, Vanillaware had pretty much only been on very specific platforms. Atlas had only been on very specific platforms. It's what they knew. And it took deals to get them to even think about it. And then Atlas is like, holy shit, we just sold so many copies on PC. And then Microsoft shows up and is like,
mind you, that's gone the other way. There's been devs that liked Xbox and didn't like PlayStation and made a game on Xbox. And then like, I don't want to make one on PlayStation.
Crystal Dynamics always made their games on Xbox, and then Nixes would port them over to PlayStation.
Nixes always did the PlayStation port. Now, we're not saying Crystal hates Xbox, but that was
what they used to. That's what they knew.
Yeah, like Crystal knew Xbox inside out and always worked. So they only ever did the Xbox versions of games. Every situation's going to be unique and different depending on the dev.
Last piece of news, and you'll like this one, Nick. Ubisoft quietly launched a full-blown NFT game this week.
I can't believe that.
Where you can purchase NFT things for the game for like upwards of $46,000.
It's got the most. No, it's like in the 60s now, I think. It's like Champion Tactics Grimoire Chronicles. That is the name. Ubisoft, normally good at naming games, the most NFT bullshit sounding name imaginable. And it is, you are buying these. You're just buying that little tiny figurine. That's what you buy.
I don't understand. Games get cancelled all the time.
Not by Ubisoft.
How did this game come to light?
Because there are idiots out there that will spend 64K.
How can Ubisoft? Here I am standing up for Ubisoft last couple of weeks and all the cool things they do, right? And then the week after they disband a studio that made the 2024 Game of the Year, they go and release this game that no one is going to play.
It looks... No, people are. And people are buying shit. And that's what's so annoying about it. People are buying
stuff. How do you know people are playing this game?
Because there's stuff that's up for sale. And you the blockchain and all that shit, you can see the sales. And there are things people are doing. You literally can't play this game without getting like crypto.
Yeah, but you have to have like a Bitcoin wallet or whatever it is, a crypto wallet.
Why the fuck does YouTube keep crashing? I've had to refresh the YouTube stream 15 times.
I actually have a crypto wallet that was set up like over 10 years ago. I actually have one.
I know a guy who had like 10 Bitcoins when they were worth 20 cents. He had 10 of them. And he cannot find the hard drive that has them. They'd be worth like
so much
grand.
money.
Yeah.
I'm actually upset. Like, I was going to buy $2,000 worth of Bitcoin back when it was worth $100 a coin. I was going to buy $2,000. I was going to
is that your brother telling you to do that? He gets mad at me when I say crypto's stupid.
No. And then I just didn't bother. I'm like, $2,000 for fake money. I probably shouldn't do that. Oh my God, you dickhead. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I did. It was like 2008 or something like that. I was like, maybe I'll just buy some of this Bitcoin thing. And I didn't do it. And I'm like, you idiot. You would be rich now. Oh, well. What are you going to do?
But yeah, this is the whole game. Like, this is, you guys see it. This is the friggin' game.
That's it. That's all it is.
This is it. You're buying those little figurines, and then it's just like a little, almost mobile-looking thing, but it's just right there on. So they'll loan you for the tutorial. They loan you characters, but then you cannot keep playing unless you buy characters. And it is pay to win. Like, you're buying stronger shit.
That's great.
That's the whole thing. And it's a Ubisoft-made, Ubisoft-published game.
You know that off the grid game? You know that off the grid game, the one that Neil Blomkamp's involved in?
Yep.
The one that Jesse, I showed you certain things a long time ago? That was an NFT game. It's not anymore, but that was an NFT game. So I don't know if I should be saying this, but like
probably not.
I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, I showed Jesse this NFT game. Yeah. Called Off the Grid. I'm like, look at this. And I had all this stuff on it. I'm like, wonder what this game's going to turn out to be. It was a full, and Crytek was involved, and like all these other studios were involved. And it was a full-blown web, I don't know if it was Web 3, but it was like an NFT Battle Royale shooter. Yeah. And since then, they have stripped the NFT stuff, and now it's just a straight-up free-to-play Battle Royale game called Off the Grid.
Never discount Ubisoft on being too late to something. This is so fucking... This is such a boring-ass game, too. This is the type of garbage you would see in a crypto commercial of, like, the thing that you could do when you're trying to sell it to companies.
Yeah. It's so painful.
They don't even move. They're just standing... It's so... This seems like it had no budget.
That reminded me of something. That's what I forgot to talk about with what have you been playing. I've been playing Pokemon, the trading card game on iOS.
Of course.
Man, I've already got like 100 cards. Well, I mean, it's making me feel a little bit better about selling my Pokemon cards a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay. That's good.
I had the first 4 sets of Pokemon cards complete in an album.
Wow.
All in perfect condition. And then I thought my son wasn't going to get into Pokemon cards, so I sold them for about $2.5K.
Whoops.
And then like a year later, my son's like, oh, I love Pokemon cards. I'm like, fuck.
Oh, he would have destroyed them all immediately anyways.
No. He's not like that. He's more like me.
Yeah, he's got your
He puts them in
OCD
sleeves.
Yeah.
He puts them in sleeves and he looks after it all. Yeah, he's fine like that. But yeah, got it. But now he's playing it too. But anyway, let's continue with the worst podcast episode ever.
Yeah. By going into it, the thing everyone leaves.
Everyone like it. The best episode ever.
The best one.
Have your calculator
just really capitalizing on the fact that no one else is live with their podcast right now. We're here bitching amongst ourselves.
You got no choice, dickheads. Eat shit. You got no choice. No Rand, no Gaz. Suck shit. There's no one else. Suffer.
Yep. And with that, it's time for what year, my dear?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I really
so
need to
loud.
Go. I need
so
whenever pre-drag makes something, it's max volume. I need to re-render those, I guess. That hurt. We're gonna say I don't know. So Nintendo Music app. We didn't talk about it, but it exists, and I think because they're gonna DMCA everything.
Yeah, they will,
including our Wii Shop music.
Yeah, probably. We should just not do it.
So I just made a couple. Like, it's really hard to get something as good as the Wii Shop music. But it's just like a little chiptune ditty thing I made with AI, so no one can claim it. Otherwise, they're a complete fraud and loser.
What do you mean, Creed and Eve? You just said it was the worst episode.
He's being sarcastic.
Yeah, he's probably...
Wait, which one was he being sarcastic about, but though?
Exactly.
True.
Because he's a member. He's a member.
Oh, did we hit the super chat from Assassin Entertainment?
I don't think we did.
It just got there now. What do you mean, Jesse? The gameplay is king after all. Yeah, that's right. He's talking about the crypto game.
Yeah, true.
Hey, before we dive into anything else, we have to take a moment to thank our patrons. As always, as we've said earlier in this show, our Patreon community and our YouTube community, all the folks that help support the site financially, are the ones that make it all possible. And we love you guys. So every week, Jesse pits Nick and I against each other as we choose one of our wonderful patrons.
Battle to the death.
And we act as a champion for them in a mini little game show. This week's one is What Year, My Dear, where Nick and I have to guess what year a game came out. And I think the closest, or the one who gets it most accurate, gets X amount of points. First to 15 points wins. And they'll win one of our community members a game code. And Jesse's already given out a load today as part of the extra live stream. Nick, who are we playing for this week?
We are playing for two people we were supposed to play for last week because John, for some bizarre reason, didn't trust that I had set it up properly.
Yeah. We didn't know.
What do you mean? It's so easy to check too. I'm playing for Piano Black, and John is playing for John Titor. Titor? I'm going to say Titor because Titor has other implications. But yes, Piano Black and John Titor.
All right.
So I was thinking of doing something different this week.
This music's actually really annoying.
I figured. Everything is too trebly. I couldn't get it to stop doing the treble.
Why is this music so rude and aggressive?
See, it does like this. Like everything is so trebly. It would not ignore. I just wanted slow bass, and it wouldn't do it, no matter what.
So rude and aggressive.
How about this one? So I was going to do something different this week because I was super tired and really busy. I'm going to go down the list of every game BioWare has ever made. And you're going to let me know when they came out.
Is there that many?
There is. It goes all the way back to the mid-90s. There's more than you would think.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is this less annoying, this music?
Slightly.
I know. Everything's
I like
super trebly. All right. Number one, gentlemen. What year? And I'm literally just going down the line.
Okay.
Because you'll get some of them right off the bat. But gentlemen, what year was Shattered Steel released by BioWare on Windows PC? It was a mech simulation action game. Their very first game.
Okay.
On Windows PC?
Yep.
What
DOS.
version of Windows?
DOS and Windows. It didn't say which version, but it wouldn't have been 98. It probably would have been 95. That would be my guess. That gives you a 3 to 4 year period.
I have no idea.
All right, gentlemen, show me your years in 3, 2, 1. The first 3 points of the day are going to one Jonathan. Yeah! Sicka Mechanico Clark. Yeah! 1996.
Suck it!
All right. Now, an all-time classic. People absolutely love and adore this series. What year were they able to release Baldur's Gate? Yeah, BioWare did Baldur's Gate. For Windows. Not telling you the version again. I just realized with this setup, I can't see chat. All right, gentlemen, give me your years in 3, 2, 1. It's a tie. You're both correct. 1998.
I came so close to saying 99. I came so close to saying 99.
I do hate the fact that I have to turn the ticker off to be able to update it. That is annoying. All right, now my cat's sitting in the way. I can barely see what I have over on this screen. Gentlemen, what year did BioWare work on and make MDK2?
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Shit.
Not MDK, MDK2. Shit.
Oh my god.
I will not give you platforms.
I don't know.
Dreamcast is one, because I've got it.
Shit. On the Wii. Maybe I mean the Wii version. I do not. Oh, I can't wear glasses. They give me a headache.
All right.
Get these cats off my table.
I have no idea.
All right, gentlemen, give me your years in 5.
I reckon I'm off by a year.
3.
I reckon I'm off by
2,
1 year.
1. A 2000 from Nick, a 2001 from John. It was 2000 on the Dreamcast.
Nice.
Congratulations, Nick. We are now
did get it.
tied at 6. Hold on, I'm putting these glasses away.
I actually thought it might have been 2001. I wasn't. I knew it was either one of the two, either 2000 or 2001.
Yeah, it was.
I did not know that BioWare made MDK.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was 2001 on PlayStation 2.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, so
the
it makes
next
sense. That's
game
why I
they
got the
made,
2 years mixed up. Okay.
another all-time classic in many people's minds, only surpassed when it finally got a sequel last year. It's a lot to friggin' type. Jesus Christ. Baldur's Gate 2. Shadows of Amun. When did they create that?
And this is the one I had in my head when I was trying to figure out Baldur's Gate, because I was working at, I think, EB at the time that Baldur's Gate 2 was coming out, which means I should be right with this year.
All right, gentlemen, give me your years in 5,
I
4,
should be right.
3, 2, 1. Taking the lead once again is John Sickamechanical Clark.
Yeah.
Because it was the age of putting out multiple all-timers in the same thing for smaller publishers.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm an idiot. I was working at EB the year before. Shit, I got my retailers mixed up. I changed jobs in 01.
This is weird. I can't see chat. I don't like it. I got to put it somewhere. Hold on. Putting chat below on my other screen. All right, gentlemen, what year did BioWare release Neverwinter Nights on PC?
Ooh.
A game I played a lot of.
I think
I don't know. I don't even know that was BioWare. Neverwinter Nights.
Yeah, so some of these I might have helped on or worked with, but I mean, most of these I'm pretty sure were them.
God, what's Neverwinter?
It was a CRPG, like a really good Dungeons and Dragons
I have
game.
I have zero idea.
Sorry, that's the game. Give me your years in
Totally
3,
guessing.
2, 1.
I'm
Taking a
guessing.
commanding lead is John Sickamechanico Clark. He is now up 12 to 6. Oof.
Are you doing these in like chronological order?
Yeah, I told you I was.
Oh, then I wouldn't have jumped to 04.
I'm just trying to judge general development time back then. A couple of years was pretty succinct, you know.
Gentlemen, when was Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic released on Xbox and Windows?
Oof, yeah, I know this one.
Sorry, you don't know one of the most famous games ever, Nick. All right, gentlemen, give me your years in 3, 2, 1.
A lot of story.
No, you still nailed it. 2003.
Well, yeah, because you said you're doing them chronologically.
I mean, I said that early, too. But I mean, it's also...
Why are you doing them chronologically? Why not jump around?
Because it does jump around. It has been. It hasn't all just been... Like, some of them were the same, literally the same year, and it messed you up. When did Jade Empire release on the Xbox?
I knew this one was going to come up.
Easy.
Gentlemen, give me your years in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A more commanding... Oreo, get down. He wants to climb up, and he's going to knock my monitor over, and then I would have to kill him. John was correct. 2005. Oop, I gave Nick a 0. He should be at 9.
It's weird that the game came out after the Xbox was discontinued.
It was one of the last games.
360 came out in 05.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm. All right. Gentlemen, when did Mass Effect?
Yeah,
this one even I know. This one even I know.
The Year of Dreams.
Even I know this one.
Yes.
Even I know Mass Effect. I bought Mass Effect. Although I did buy Jade Empire as well. I've got.
All right. Both got that easy one. That was a layup. Gentlemen, what year... Oh my god, this is a lot to fucking type. This is more of a Nick one, probably. What year did Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood release on the Nintendo DS?
I don't know.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
I don't know. I didn't play that shit.
Give me your
Although
years
apparently
in
it's a good
5,
game.
4, 3, 2, 1. Both correct.
I
don't know. I'll just queue up the 2009 for the next answer. Because
have I hit 15 yet? I've got to have hit 15, right?
You're at 24. It's
okay. I've won. Okay, correct. Cool. That's all I care about.
All right, maybe I'll go out of order then, if you want to.
I don't know why you weren't going out of order to begin with.
Because you weren't getting all of them. It was funny. I told you I was going to go in order. All right. What year did... God, so much to type. You normally have it all saved. Mass Effect Andromeda release.
Oh.
You jumping around then?
He saw my answer.
I think it's whatever Nick's answer is.
Yeah, that's right.
Gentlemen,
he saw my
show me
answer
your
and he
years.
knows it's correct.
In 5,
Fucking
4, 3, 2...
41.
Yeah, fucking
you're both
cheat.
wrong. It's not.
Oh,
It's 20
no, I shouldn't have copied him.
It's 2017.
Really? Was it that late?
Yep.
Wow.
Wow. I feel like it was earlier than that.
Ooh, you know what? I want to get a different one in here. What year?
All that does is prove that John does fucking guess. He doesn't know
he-
shit. Doesn't know shit from shit.
What year did Mass Effect Legendary Edition release?
Oh. When was I meant to have reviewed that? It was during the pandemic.
Yeah, it was a pandemic game.
I'll go with that. Was it 2021? 22?
It was 2021. You are correct. Yet another time, Nick is wrong once again. This is becoming a stomping right now. My goodness. All right. Only got a few left. Gentlemen, what year did Dragon Age 2 release? Chat's been doing pretty well on these.
Dragon Age 2.
Give me your years in 5, 4, 3,
Wait.
2. I waited like, it's been like 20 seconds.
I have no idea with Dragon Age. I don't know.
All right. John, give me your year now. Nick was closer without going over. It was 2011.
God, that was
1
just the
point
most
for Nick.
guess of all guesses.
All right. We only got a couple left. My God, they had so many games canceled. Command & Conquer's General 2 canceled. Warhammer Online, Wrath of Heroes canceled. Shadow Realms canceled.
Wow.
Like, Jesus Christ, it's 3 in a row. Thanks, EA. Jesus Christ. All right. I'm going to throw a curveball in there. Gentlemen, what year... I mean, this is just for fun, because Nick Sick has won once again. What year did Mass Effect 2 release on PlayStation? It was a 360 only at first.
I'm going to say it was...
Windows PC and 360 only at first. Gentlemen, give me your final years in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You both nailed it. 2010 on Xbox and 2011 on PlayStation. With a final dominating 30 points. John Sikamika wins 30 to 19. It wasn't that far off. Yeah.
Congratulations, John Titor. Reach out to
me,
Jesse on the Discord or on our forums for a game code to a game.
And I know I miss this music too, but
don't do it.
That's all I do.
Ciao goes
you
offline.
get 3 seconds.
Nintendo lawyers storm through. What about if we did that? We'll get together and we'll each pick a different tone of instrument and we'll just do a
for the entire time. And then whenever we're not talking, we'll just do it live.
All right. Okay. To wrap things up today, we will finish off with some community questions.
Don't leave when we're done, because this stream is going to immediately snap you over to the extra live stream where you can all just donate tons of money because you love kids.
To be healthy. You love kids to be healthy.
You love kids.
It's for the
to
kids.
be alive and well and healthy children.
And not under
living full lives.
I don't know why you made this full Gary Glitter, but sure.
Whatever. Oh my God. I don't know why you made this full Gary Glitter. I say, oh yeah, Phoebe Cates is attractive. Oh, you're a pedophile, Nick. What? What do you mean? That's all you ever do to me. Fucking hell, man. Helen Mirren is pretty attractive. Oh my God, Nick. What is it with you and young women? What?
Oh god!
I literally just said, how old was she in that movie? I forget. And you immediately were like, but sure.
Anyways, one of the perks of being an incredible Patreon supporter for Xbox Era is that you get to submit community questions to us every week via either a form on our Discord or via the forums, where we'll scrape them out and have a little chit chat. Because we love you guys and we want to hear from you and we want to hear what you're thinking about. If you want to become a legendary Patreon member, head to patreon.com/XboxEra. And in return for your cash, be it a cup of coffee a month or some more, we'll chuck you merch and things like that, depending upon which tier you choose. And they're all pretty worthwhile because we put out a lot of content for a very small gig made up of like 2 full-time people and loads of volunteers. So, you know, like, go us, but mostly go you, because we wouldn't be able to do any of it without you. Nick, what have we got in the community questions front this week?
Okay, I'm going to the forum first.
Understandable. On stomping grounds.
I'm just going to type names.
The first question is from Hytham G.
Oh, wow.
Hytham G. Subject: horror movies. A makeup for the podcaster that weren't here. That's me. So, John, first horror movie and video game you watched and played?
First horror movie I ever saw as a kid was, I think I was like 8 or 9, and it would have been Arachnophobia. And it did not bode well for my joy of spiders for the rest of my life.
Arachnophobia was full on.
I shouldn't have watched it. It was very foolish of me.
So full on.
No. First horror game I played, that's hard to say. Like, does King Kong, the official movie of the game of the movie, count as a horror game? I don't know. I would probably say Resident Evil, the original on the PlayStation 1, would be my first ever horror game.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Nick, ever watched zombie movies like Peter Jackson Brain Dead or the outside version of it, Dead Alive? What are those movies? Are they real movies?
Yeah, one of his first. Yeah, Brain Dead's good. It's one of his first ones. It was Brain Dead in New Zealand and Dead Alive most other places.
I watched The Frighteners, and Frighteners is amazing. That's a Peter Jackson movie. Frighteners is incredible. And Dead Alive. What's Dead Alive?
It's a horror movie, like a goofy horror movie, kind of. It's very old. I think some parts of it might not hold up the best, but it was good.
Oh,
it was a good movie.
Hold on. Dead Alive is Brain Dead.
Yeah, I'm saying they're the same movie. They had different names in different markets.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Fun fact.
I'm sorry, I've never seen it.
The whole scene where Aragorn goes to get the army of the dead in Return of the King, it's the same location that some of the scenes in Brain Dead were filmed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Dead Alive in 1992 had a budget of $3 million US. It did not make anywhere near that.
Wow.
That's a big flop for 92.
And how did that guy get...
What's wrong with John's mic?
John's mic has gone. You got to unplug and replug it, buddy.
Ooh.
Your mic went. You've opened something.
Ooh.
Whatever you opened broke your mic.
Yeah. You've done the thing that used to happen to me when I used to open stuff.
When you used to open OneNote. Yeah, something you opened killed your mic.
Like, is it still working or is it just dead?
Nope. Sounds horrible. Don't talk. No talking. Unplug and replug.
No talking for the rest of the podcast. No. So yes,
I would kill Nick if that happened to him.
The only Peter Jackson horror film I've seen is The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox, and that is if you haven't seen it, like, watch The Frighteners. It is so good. It is fantastic. Great film. I've got it on. Wait.
Look at that cake.
I thought I had it on HD DVD. I don't. But I think it came out on HD DVD. Next question is from Didact 3. Subject: Game of the Year. Prince of Persia. Hello, peeps. Now that the year is closing, what games do you guys think will be the Game Awards Game of the Year nominees? Anything on PlayStation. Does Flight Sim 24 or Stalker 2 have any chance of getting in?
No.
Personally, as not a JRPG guy, Metaphor is my game of the year, which really surprised me. P.S. Indie not being eligible this year is BS, and Geoff should host the show in January. Yes,
if it was
it is
about
silly
the awards,
that a
it
game...
should be hosted in February, actually.
Yeah, it is silly that a game that comes out in 2024 is ineligible for the 2024 Game of the Year. That is incredibly stupid. But it'll be eligible next year, because next year it comes out on PS5.
I think the games that'll get nominated are going to be Astrobot, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor, ReFantazio. Christ, there's some other ones that are lower on the yearly rankings, but I think like Black Myth Wukong will probably make it if there's enough.
Everything
Chinese
PlayStation 5
media.
exclusive will be nominated.
I think Tekken might have a chance,
Final
but
Fantasy.
it's kind of fallen off. But yeah, Final
Tekken.
Fantasy. Yeah, Tekken's a 90 on OpenCritic. Like
Tekken 8
Yeah,
Game of the Year? No.
it's just one of those nominated, not win. But yeah, it'll be
Astro,
Astrobot, Final Fantasy VII
Rebirth,
Rebirth, and Fantasio. Those will be the
Wukong,
three that have the most. chance.
ReFantazio. What else?
There'll probably be some lower ones.
Stellar Blade.
Mario and Luigi Brothership hits next week, I think. Maybe we'll see what that does. You never know. Man. I'm trying to think of some others. There's that Lorelei and the Laser Eyes game, but I don't think it's big enough.
I don't think
reviewed
Helldivers
really
will.
though.
I saw someone say Helldivers. I don't think Helldivers will. It's yeah.
You think Echoes of Wisdom will sneak in there?
Oh yeah, Echoes of Wisdom might.
Yeah.
Might.
It's the people who vote that matter, not the games. It's like, what do you think these people are going to nominate? So
In the end, Astro's going to win.
Can you guys hear me?
yes, through your camera.
Yes. Yeah, it's really bad. Like, nothing is working. Yeah, I can't get anything to reset, so I'd have to restart my PC to bring this all back to life. I'll be back.
Just get a Mac.
Well, there's a breakdown as much as anything. What are you talking about?
Macs just work. They
No, they
just
don't.
work.
That's a complete bullshit fallacy. Also, he
They
could have
just
removed
work.
himself from the call before dropping, but whatever. I'll remove him.
Yep. Last forum question. Good old Collingwood. Happy Halloween, John, Nick, and Jesse. Subject: World of Warcraft. This question is for Jesse. Have you seen the Netflix documentary, The Remarkable Life of Ibelin? That was released last week. I know you met your significant other on World of Warcraft. Have you any other stories about the World of Warcraft community?
I have not seen that. Hey, cool. YouTube crashed again. Every time I'm like, it just crashes hard and then we lose a bunch of people. I don't know why that keeps happening. I have not seen that documentary. So yeah, I met the missus while we were completely random. I wouldn't have never known her if I didn't, on a whim, decide to build a PC. And then a few years later, decide to, on a whim, buy World of Warcraft. Then on a whim, decide to join that specific Eldraith Thalas server that she was already on, that she also went on a whim. Like, it is one of those 15 steps had to all happen at random for us to have ever met. Because I was up in Massachusetts, she was down in Florida. Just completely random that we met that day, that way, that it ever turned into anything. It was literally like 7 years after we met when I realized, oh, I think she likes me. Because she followed me, kept up with me on MySpace, kept up with me on Facebook, and I'm like, huh, weird. That was the story there, was just me being thick and not realizing, oh,
I never know when a girl likes me. I never know.
It's tough because it's like I don't want to assume because rejection hurts. But then I was feeling it from her angle by the end, and she's like, "Oh, she keeps dropping pretty strong hints," and I'm just like, "Oh,
I have stories like that where I just did not know a girl liked me until after when people told me. I told them the story, and they're like, "Oh, she liked you, and she was waiting for you to make a move." I'm like, "Oh, really?" They're like, "Yeah." A girl once invited me to her house and took me up to her bedroom, and I just stood there because I didn't know what I was doing. I just stood up there. I'm like, yeah, sweet. What are we doing up here? I had no idea. I'm like, oh, okay. That was my level of fucking stupidity of not knowing. I was like in her bedroom, and I'm just like, I'm like standing around. I did not know. I'm like, cool. That was my level of just what's the word? Obliviousness. Like just no idea. But yeah.
I was okay picking up the signals in person. It was online. I just didn't really get it right away. It's also one of those things where it's like, oh, I really like this person. Like she said, from the first time she heard me talk on Ventrilo, she liked me. I was like, oh, I had no idea. I mean, you were married at the time, so I definitely wasn't thinking about it. But then once you weren't anymore,
yeah, that's right.
But like even then, it was always this thing. It was like, oh yeah, we're buds. But on her end, it was much more, I hate my marriage. And so, but I didn't know. And then once I did know, I was like, oh, okay. So in person, pretty good with picking up the signals. Never had a problem, but it was definitely tougher online because, you don't want to make someone uncomfortable either. That was always a thing.
I didn't know the signals anywhere. Not online, not in person, not anything. I have a similar story in a nightclub where apparently a girl liked me and I had no idea. Nothing happened. And everyone was like, dude, she was waiting for you to make a move on her. I'm like, oh, I'm like, I don't know. There's sort of a PS to this. From IMDb, Mats Steen, a Norwegian gamer, died of a degenerative muscular disease at the age of 25. His parents mourned what they thought had been a lonely and isolated life when they started receiving messages from online friends around the world. That's nice. I mean, nice in a horrible situation.
When something sad like that happens, but then you found out, no, your son was able to connect with people in a way that you hadn't thought of because you're an old bastard. So that's nice.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're on to the forms. John's still not back. How long does it take a PC to boot up?
Well, when you've got one of those Intels that was frying itself to death, it can take a long time when things are breaking.
Man. Just get a Mac.
His mic has stopped working.
Yeah, -0. That's about right, -0.
He DM'd me his mic has just straight up stopped working.
Oh, wow. -0. You want to go upstairs? Nick, why? What's up there? That's about right. That's pretty much about right. Took me to her house. We went upstairs, and I'm like, cool. And we're just like awkwardly standing there. I had no idea. Like, she probably wanted me to, and I was like, yeah, sweet, cool. And then we just went back downstairs and like talked for a bit, and then I went home. Hey, on the plus side, it means I'm not like, a weird creep. Like these idiots always try and make me out to be. Anyway. Form
I got
question.
Macca's.
Oh, cool. Is that the Grimace? That's not the Grimace shake.
No, Mocha Frap.
Oh, okay. All right. Form question. Jordan Andow. Category is subscription services. It seems like with subscription services, not just Game Pass, people have a problem accepting or admitting they are successful. On that subject, I have two questions. Firstly, why do people find it hard to accept success? Is it just because people don't like change? Second question, what does Game Pass need to do or number of subscribers does it need to have before people just accept that it's successful? Like people do with, say, Netflix. I don't think people do find it hard to accept success. I think part of the problem with Game Pass is that it's Xbox. Like people do accept success. They just don't accept success with something they don't like. How many subscribers does Game Pass need before people accept that it's successful? 11 billion?
Yeah, most of the people you're talking to are just straight up, they are bad faith. Unlike me joking about Nick, they don't actually care. There is no number that could woo them. Unless they change their personality and sign into a different account that's pro Xbox guy, and then it doesn't matter what they have. They'll fight for it no matter what. Like that's the level of shitty discourse that you're dealing with.
Yeah. If they had like 742 million subs, then the argument will be, $1 subs, back to the $1 subs. Microsoft bought those subs. There'd be some sort of goal post shift or something. It wouldn't matter. There is no number. There's no number. But yeah, I think the acceptance of change comes down to preferences, basically.
I agree, and John's gonna wait. John's gonna very weirdly shake his head because his camera's running like ass too, because his whole computer's blowing
Yeah,
up
wow, look at that.
because of
Yeah,
Intel.
even it's running like Nintendo 64.
I blame Intel. In there, let's nuke all of our chips to try and desperately keep up with AMD.
Just get a Mac. They just released the Mac Mini with the power button underneath the computer.
Yeah, and
so
the Mac.
fucking dumb.
You see that
So
Mac Mini?
fucking dumb.
The $600 Mac Mini is like an amazing bargain for how powerful the chip is and everything. But it's got 256 gigabytes of memory and 16 gigs of RAM. And if you want to double each of those, it's a more than double the cost of the system. So if you want to get what on a PC would cost you, I don't know, maybe you go to a terabyte of SSD space for $80 total, and you go to 32 gigs of RAM for another $80. No, those are both $400 upgrades.
Yeah, no, that's how Apple does it.
So you more than double the cost of this system. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, Apple's ridiculous.
And
I
it will
still
all
can't believe
thermal
they put the
throttle
power
anyways.
button. I still can't believe they put the power button underneath the computer. Like, and then they refreshed the keyboard and mouse, the Magic Keyboard and Magic Mouse, USB-C, and they still put the stupid port underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. Are you serious? Just stick it on the side. Like, there's nothing wrong with having it on the side and people can keep using their mouse.
Mm-hmm. Or, I mean, like almost all of them that just put it right in the front. Like,
Yeah.
because then it's just like a mouse wire, like a normal
Yeah.
mouse wire.
Just
But
like,
yeah,
they're so dumb. So dumb.
John looks happy.
Ever since Johnny Ive left. Next we'll go to Soul. Soul's asking a question. Category. I don't know. Streaming question. Ooh, 2 streaming questions. Yo, how would you guys feel about doing community-centric streams, but with a fun, this dude knows, this dude doesn't slant? Nick playing Fortnite duos with Jesse, or Jesse playing co-op RPGs like Pillars of Eternity with John, or everyone trying out League with me, etc. Also, in Halloween spirit, favorite horror-centric segment in a video game. Thanks.
It could be fun, but getting multiple people together for streams is a massive pain in the ass.
I'm off for the next few days.
Mm.
Today, tomorrow, and Tuesday.
Could be fun.
My
If
Tuesday.
we find some stuff that we all have
I
access
do
to.
Fortnite duos. I haven't jumped into the new season. It just started. Doesn't look like much. It looks like it's a music-themed season, like Snoop Dogg's in there, Eminem's in there. I don't know if I'm going to jump into this season. Marvel, like, as soon as I see Marvel, man, I'm in. If I see Marvel.
You're a
Greek
Mark
mythology.
Vol.
Yeah, very much so. I wish that I want them to go back to doing a video game season again. They had done like a video game themed season, and I think there was like Tomb Raider and there was a bunch of stuff in there. It was great. And that's when they sold like Aloy in the store.
Is that when they did Gears and they had
Yeah, I think they had
Yeah.
Gears and Master Chief and that was I'd love for them to
Kratos
do a
doing
video
his
game
funny
themed season.
dances?
I got Kratos, I got Aloy, I think I bought Leon Kennedy as well. I've got a bunch of skins. I got like 200 skins. But yeah, I'm happy. I mean, we can stream Black Ops later, I guess.
Not John. His computer's about to explode. It's like he's in front of the sun right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happens when you have a Windows PC instead of a Mac.
Intel.
That's what happens.
That generation of Intel was unfortunately really rough. Their board partners did not set proper voltage limits, and they just kind of fried themselves up.
Nice. Oh, yeah, that's right, SJ. I forgot about that. You know what Fortnite introduced this season? My son's going to be so over the moon. Shoes. You can buy shoes separately for your character, and the first set of shoes is Air Jordans. Man, I'm going to go buy some right now. And my son is going to buy some too, because he's got Air Jordans. He loves Michael Jordan.
This is for both of you and your son.
Because he loves Michael Jordan. I would not allow him to like LeBron James because LeBron's not fit to fucking carry Jordan's shoe bag.
He's worth more money.
It's because he won't leave. He won't retire.
The game
he just hangs around.
Newscast called me rude. I was just trying to say how much I hate people spending in microtransactions, killing single player games. That's all.
I am gonna buy a pair of Jordans for Chun-Li.
Jordan.
I'm gonna have Chun-Li wearing Air Jordans. Can't wait. I bet you those Jordans. They're going to be these tiny little digital shoes. How much do you want to bet how much they're going to cost? Like 3,000 V-Bucks. I bet it's like 3,000 V-Bucks for a pair of Air Jordans. I bet you I need to look this up. How much are these Air Jordans? How much are they?
His dumb kid will never know. Don't worry about it.
My son's got like $200 saved up.
Jeez. He is little you. What's Nick is Australian. This is how you fool around with your Australian friends. Trust me. I still die. We had someone cancel the Patreon because they thought you and I really hated each other, and I was really mean to you. And you're just like, what the fuck? Chun-Li is 340 years old. Trev, she's got really good skincare routine. What do we have? One more form question. One more form question.
Hold on a second.
What are you looking up?
Oh, I'm signing into the Fortnite website. I want to see how much these Jordans cost.
Just talk through your camera, John.
Oh, I don't have my authenticator.
It's really
app
bad.
is there.
I don't have any headphones either. They go through my microphone, so
God.
It's just bad. It's
just
bad
mute,
all around.
Just mute whenever you're not talking like this. Boop, bam. Now you're not talking. You mute. You're good. It's fine.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Nick just wants to talk
last
about more
question.
microtransactions.
Yeah, last question is unnamed. For some reason, some person didn't leave their name. I don't know who it is. So I apologize for whoever it is. If you're watching and you hear your question, if you're watching and you hear our question, shout out. Hi, champs. That sounds Aussie. So maybe Scarecrow121. I'm so excited that Scarecrow121 came back to us.
He gifted us 10 subs in our Hangout stream yesterday, too.
Yeah. I'm very happy he came back. I was bitterly disappointed and upset that an OG patron left us.
Were you upset that I was the first person he ever interviewed for his new show? He asked me.
Yeah, I saw that. I watched that.
Yeah. You see the angry comments from two people we had blocked on the forums. They hate me.
Yeah.
I didn't block them too. It was Naughty and Brit.
It's understandable. Hi, chaps. Trust everyone's having a great weekend and had a spooky Halloween. Instead of asking what's your favorite scary movie, it's obviously The Thing. I'll flip it. What horror movie does everyone love that you just can't get into? For me, it's The Exorcist. And more recently, Midsommar. Lastly, did any of you play the twin-stick shooter games Van Helsing or Underworld on the PS2? Had a blast with those as a kid. No, I didn't know there was a twin-stick shooter Van Helsing.
I think I played that one. I never played the Underworld one.
The first twin-stick shooter I ever played, and it wasn't twin-stick because there was no dual analog back then, was Loaded. Remember Loaded? On Saturn and PS1?
I was thinking of Smash TV.
It's a fucking cool game, man. I played Gauntlet. Gauntlet, I guess, kind of counts. But Loaded on Saturn.
Yeah, but those only really worked at the arcade because you had the multiple things. So
I would love Loaded. If someone could remake Loaded, I want someone to remake Loaded. That was so good. Horror movie that everyone loves that I couldn't get into. Fucking Longlegs.
Yeah, it was okay. It was like
nothing. Everyone's like, oh my God, Longlegs. Everyone was freaking out over Longlegs.
That is one of the worst things, I think. When a movie is pretty good but not great, but then if it reviews really well, people will then go in with such high expectations it can't match them. I have found myself able to enjoy things others hated. way more when I didn't know they like
yeah.
the more information you have about something, the more you're just going to be looking for very specific things when you go in. So
I like going in not knowing. Or with low expectations. Like, everyone was shitting all over Black Adam, and I went and watched it, and I'm like, it was fine. I didn't mind Black Adam. I thought it was okay.
Or you got the low expectations, and then you try and watch Joker Folie à Deux, and you're like, oh my god, this fucking movie.
Joker was so bad. So bad.
We
Great
force
ending.
John to watch it.
Fantastic ending to Joker Folie à Deux. But man, that movie was just garbage. I fell asleep, man. It was so boring.
Yeah, I like the spookiness early on in Long Legs, but then I didn't like the answers.
Yeah, it was just, I didn't get like what was so scary about it. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Game adaptation newscast. If you take out if they removed the musical aspect of the Joker 2, it becomes the less bad. It still wouldn't have been a great movie. Like, the beauty of the first Joker film was how they found a clever way of remaking Taxi Driver in the Gotham
King
universe.
of New York. Yeah, like they just remade old Martin Scorsese movies, essentially.
Yeah. And I could not have loved the first Joker movie any more than I did. I watched that movie like 3 times. Like, I loved the first Joker movie. It's so
Even
good.
though the gameplay wasn't great, you loved the movie part of it.
Like, it was a fantastic movie, The Joker. It was not The Joker, it's just called Joker. But that second movie.
And horror is a genre where people who really like it just love everything in it. Like, they get mad at you if you don't. Like, it happens with horror games. Like, there are horror games that'll come out, and I'm like, that's okay. And then it's getting like 9s and 10s from people like, really? It's not very good. But they love horror so much that they want to, they're into it.
For the how many have we got watching? 158. For the 158 or so people watching, can I have the green light to spoil Joker 2? Can people in the chat say yes, no, maybe? Put a poll. Do I have the green light to discuss Joker 2 in a spoilery way? In a positive way. I'm actually going to say something positive about it.
Ding. Boop, boop. All right, poll is going
yes,
live.
No. Already a yes and a no. Okay.
Poll is live
already
on the
a
YouTube.
Yes and a no.
It's the end of the show.
It's sort of been all over Twitter anyway.
But most people aren't on Twitter anymore because they hate it.
Like, I saw the ending literally posted on Twitter before I watched the movie. And the funny part is, it's a fantastic ending. This is the frustrating part about Joker 2. If you view, I think the poll is very much overwhelmingly yes. If you view Joker and Joker 2 as one overarching movie, unbelievable ending. It's actually a fantastic ending to those 2 movies, which is why the second movie being trash is so disappointing. So here's the spoiler, right? The Joker.
1 sec.
What?
Anyone who doesn't want to hear, I'm going to put up a little thing. So as long as this URL is up, he's talking. Moment he's done spoiling, you can unmute if you want.
Yeah. So here's the spoiler of the Joker. That's actually technically not a spoiler. Technically, I'm not spoiling anything. The Joker is not the Joker. He's not the Joker. He's Arthur Fleck. They told you in the first movie that he's not the Joker. Arthur Fleck is not the Joker. So the point of these 2 movies combined is you're actually getting 2 origin stories. You're getting the origin story of Arthur Fleck, who thinks he's the Joker, but you're also getting the origin story of the Joker we know that fights Batman. You're getting both origin stories across 2 movies. So at the end of Joker 2, the real Joker, the one we all know, the one that we know that fights Batman, the one that was played by Heath Ledger, that Joker kills Arthur Fleck.
Well, not Heath Ledger's Joker, but the Joker, that character.
Yes, that's right. The Joker character that fights Batman in the DC universe. That Joker that we all know kills Arthur Fleck in Arkham. That's how the movie ends. And I think that's fantastic. I think that was an incredible... Well, he was already on death row. He'd been sentenced to death anyway, so he was going to die regardless. So people were getting upset because it's like, oh, he was never really the Joker. That's right. He wasn't really the Joker. They told you that in the first movie when they named him Arthur Fleck. Yeah, I know. You've frozen as well.
Yeah. StreamYard's being weird.
Yeah, so he was never the Joker. That's the beauty of these two movies when you combine them. And I think it was a brilliant way to end the two-movie arc with... So basically, Arthur Fleck inspired the Joker we all know. And then at the end, you see it. He just goes up to him, he tells him a joke, and then he ends it with, like, you get what you fucking deserve. And he just shivs the absolute shit out of him and then just laughs maniacally. And it's like, that's the hint. That's telling you that he's the Joker. And then he cuts his lips. He goes, and creates that. That's clearly him self-inflicting the smile scars on it. I think that was a fucking brilliant way to end a 2-movie arc with a shit second movie, but a brilliant ending. I think the ending is incredible. It just happens to be a shit second movie, unfortunately. That's the problem. But yeah, man, like, it's a bad movie, unfortunately, and you have to get through a bad movie to get to the great ending at the end of that movie. But man, so good. Yeah, I know. Look at that. The 2 Windows PCs ship bricks. Huh? The Mac over here.
What?
Something is very wrong. Let's wrap this up because I feel like a third, fourth wheel here.
I mean, you're talking about as much as you normally do when Nick goes on rants.
Yeah.
Fair.
So that's it. That's the end. We discussed the Joker.
I'm going to keep streaming.
That's the bonus Sick of Nick's Flicks segment rant, but it was just Nick. It was just Nick's Flicks. And that's it. So because John can't talk, that's the end of the show. So that's the end. We want to thank everyone.
It doesn't sound great.
Yeah, no, don't talk. You'll ruin it. So thanks to everyone that popped by. Thanks to everyone that super chatted. Thanks to the people who donated during our show. People did donate during the show, didn't they?
Yep, we got a couple.
Yep. Thanks to our wonderful patrons, especially Julia and Denise. And to our great benefactors and executive producers and our CEO, Tor Raptor.
And stick around if you want to hang out. We're going to keep going on the Extra Life charity stream, which this will throw you over to once it's done. John.
Yep.
Say goodbye.
Yeah.
No, he didn't do it. You're moving.
Yeah, well done, John. Ciao for now.
Bye.